Yeah, man.
That's hot shit right there, man.
So what we gonna do? We gonna dub.
News networks are not even getting clicks like that. So this shows like there's an opportunity for this, what we're doing here on this show.
Look up something to back check, kind of like cross-reference.
Yeah, I should put the.
You say you look that shit up. That's the name of your show.
Yeah,
that's right. What really drew me in.
Remember, we want you to be an activist, and don't take our word for it. Look that shit up. Pulley. And hope I don't get in trouble for playing that last video. I probably shouldn't have played that shit. I'm always testing the damn waters, bro. That shit gonna get me.
You are now sane.
Who and what are we gonna complain about tonight?
You are now sane.
Good evening, my little one. I shall make you psychotic.
Mommy, what does psychotic mean?
Back and forth, and you know I'm swinging bows. I'm about to change course, go home and changing clothes. I'm looking at this bitch, it seems like she's saying no. I'ma hit the streets, though I'm supposed to be laying low. I'm following the buzz, never know which way it go. Keep on bringing heat, cause the G.O.D. say it so. Sailing on the beat, so you can't chop and play it so. She got me for a piece, now I'm about to pay the hoe. Stop smoking, switching sweets, why I gotta take a toke. Now I got a little guac, now I gotta make it grow. Keep on thinking we some hee-haw, ma and pa folks. We gon' hit you in your teeth, we keep a buzzsaw close. I've been on it 5 days, so I'm sitting sideways. Now get out of my way, or I'ma hit your day. Take a lick on my dick if you don't like what I say. I'm the shit with the shit, so we gon' do this my way. Yo, we just getting started, so go and say your grace. I'ma eat you rappers, though I won't enjoy the taste. I'm closing your estates while you falling on the stakes. I'm rolling on the bass while you rolling on the face. Sitting on the place, not knowing I'ma take your fast, slowing and it's fake. So I'm gonna wait, time will come, down will be done. I saw it and I said that it was great.
Mommy, what does psychotic
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? KCE, King Chaka. It is what it is, baby. You really not feeling me? Let me find out. Yo, question my ability. Let me find out. Invest in my enemy. Let me find out. There ain't no telling what you finna see. You finna find out. It's something that enters me. You finna find out. Then exit with energy. You finna find out. Riding flows like centipede. You finna find out. Screw those that's pinning me. Let me find out. Hit the big lips. I'ma call you Bill Bellamy. When you talk your shit, man, really it's killing me. Hit you with my fist and I'ma do it lyrically. Crazy ass brick, so I might do it literally. I'ma do this till I'm old eating celery. How old is Jay-Z? He got energy. Come to my show or I'ma do it bitterly. Or it's a porn store with a bitch named Beverly. Keep waiting tables, yeah. Spicy means peppery. Or get tattoos and work in the factory. Whatever I do, I'ma do it happily. I'm tired of these rappers too, they do it tackily. That's why I'm here, I'm the shit this year. We gon' keep it moving, grooving, give you something you can feel. When shit's fucked up, gon' drop a tear. I'ma pull my pants up, grab another beer. Rap's messed up and I don't have no fear. Attack the chest up, it's a grown man in here. Ask you little chaps, what have you done in the field? Throw your sets up, let them know you're still here. I said you really not feeling me, let me find out. Yo, question my ability, let me find out. Yo, invest in my enemy, let me find out. Ain't no telling what you finna see, you finna find out. Yo, you really not feeling me, let me find out. Yo, question my ability, let me find out. Yo, invest in my enemy, let me find out. Ain't no telling what you finna see, you finna find out. Yeah, bounce, rock, shake, wiggle. We gon' come through and put it in the middle. They calls me fiddler cause I play the fiddle. Checking masters, white pipes, I's a good nigga. Bounce, rock, shake, wiggle. We gon' come through and put it in the middle. They calls me fiddler cause I play the fiddle. Checking masters, white pipes, I's a good nigga. I said you really not feeling me, let me find out. Yo, question my ability, let me find out. Yo, invest in my enemy, yo, let me find out.
Dime qué tú quieres, papi. ¿Quieres que lo mueva para ti? Mueve, mueve. ¿Te gusta cuando me muevo así? Así. Mueve, muevo, mueve.
Hey, you, we up in the place, we up in the place, we up in the place. Hey, you, make your body shake, make your body shake, make your body shake. Hey, you, we up in the place, we up in the place, we up in the place. Hey, you, make your body shake, make your body shake, make your body shake. Hop, hop, jump, skip up on the floor. If they didn't know, then we gon' let them know. Drop low, giving them a show. We gon' give them something that they never seen before. Hop, scotch, 784. Bouncing on the beat while keeping the flow. Stop, watch, freeze and go. Cock-a-doodle-doo is what you eating off the floor. Pop, lock, do it by yourself. You know you the best, you don't need nobody else. Rock, hip, toast to success. You was born a winner, so you never nothing less. Hey, you, we up in the place, we up in the place, we up in the place. Hey, you, make your body shake, make your body shake, make your body shake. Hey, you, we up in the place, we up in the place, we up in the place. Hey, you, make your body shake, make your body shake, make your body shake. Bow, bow, rock, rock, shake, shake, wiggle, 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 wiggle. Bow, bow, rock, rock, shake, shake, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
¿Quieres que lo mueva para ti?
Bow, bow, rock, rock, shake, shake, wiggle, wiggle,
¿Te gusta
wiggle.
cuando me muevo así? Así.
Bow, bow, rock, rock, shake, shake, wiggle, wiggle. When we come through, make you move just a little. Clap, clap, snap, do it from the hip. You can do this whether you stand or sit. Pump, fist, do it with your wrist. Pump it back and forth like you tryna catch a fish. Hip, twist, do a finger kiss. Rocking back and forth as you make your body shift. Top, tick, do it like you sick. 2 + 4 is 6 and that's arithmetic. Top, 6, we gon' let it rip. We got your attention and we not gon' let it slip. So hands up, move your head and know what's up. Now it's shoulders rolling while you showing them your stuff. Hey, you, we up in the place, we up in the place, we up in the place. Hey, you, make your body shake, make your body shake, make your body shake. Hey, you, we up in the place, we up in the place, we up in the place. Hey, you, make your body shake, make your body shake, make your body shake. Bow, bow, rock, rock, shake, shake, wiggle, wiggle,
Dime
wiggle.
qué tú quieres, papi.
Bow, bow, rock, rock, shake, shake, wiggle, wiggle,
¿Quieres
wiggle.
que lo mueva para ti?
Bow, bow, rock, rock, shake, shake, wiggle,
¿Te
wiggle,
gusta
wiggle.
cuando me muevo así? Así.
Bow, bow, rock, rock, shake, shake, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. When we come through, make you move just a little, 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 just a little.
Hey, how y'all doing out there? How y'all feel? Remember, we want you to be an activist. Don't take our word for it. Look that mess up, please. Thank you. How
Yeah.
y'all feeling out there? What's up, Pat?
What's the deal? What's the deal?
Yeah, man. You sound good, man. You feel good?
Feel great. Awesome.
Yeah. Feeling good is what it's all about. Health is wealth.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's
I'm
popping with you? How you feeling, man?
feeling good, man. I ain't gonna lie. Some bit of stress has been lifted. It's a bit of
Okay.
so I'm feeling a bit relieved.
Well,
You know,
good, good.
yeah, that's what it is, man. And it's like we go through what we go through to make us stronger, make us better. You know, that's what growth
Oh yeah.
is. It's if you're in a comfortable spot, then you're not growing. That's what I like to say. You know,
You know, I 100,000% agree. I mean, but at the same time, I don't think it's necessarily supposed to be filled with stress either.
yeah, and you
Like
shouldn't be
even
suffering, and
yes,
you shouldn't be
exactly.
suffering. So like the idea of this whole week is gonna be, well, the name of today's show is Mass Psychosis. So I'm thinking about the
Okay.
idea of society and how, it's really insanity, man. It's really a whole lot of insanity, man. It's crazy. And it doesn't look crazy because everybody is crazy. So it's like if you're not crazy
Oh my
along with
God.
them, then
Uh,
you're the one who's insane because you're not fitting in with the rest of the crowd.
hey, look. I'm like I'm in the background of the nightclub with the when they how they
Yeah.
be snapping like, oh
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, yes, bro. Because I mean, say man, it's it's impossible to be in this country, maybe even this world during this time period and not be crazy. Because I mean, either you've fallen totally for the
That's a good
psychosis,
idea. I was gonna say that.
or you understand what's going on and you're battling it, and or others who like can't fully see what's going on. So like one way or the other, you're dealing, you're either insane or you're dealing with the insanity.
And it's easy for you to get sucked in because then you're trying to fight their insanity with logic, like their illogical thoughts with logical thoughts, and that doesn't work because they're gonna come back around with something that's
well,
illogical again.
well, see, the thing is, to me, I feel like too many people have gotten too comfortable and like they actually feel safe. Like, and that's what's scary to me, that a lot of people actually feel safe under these conditions. And for me, that's a problem. Like, I mean, like that like I can't imagine like really being relaxed and acting as if things are okay when clearly there's like problems everywhere we turn. Like, I mean, there's things that we need to fix and get at least a hold of. But for some people, it's just kind of like they're so used to just being like, well, that's just the way it is. Well, it don't have to be that.
I'm
You know what I'm
saying
saying?
that's what
You
bothers
know,
me the most. It's like, well, I mean, there's nothing you could do about it, or it's always been this way. You know,
yeah.
that's I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. I mean, even if that's true, I still can't accept that. You know what I'm saying? I just can't. I
Yeah,
just can't
man.
accept that. And I feel like things are upside down, and that's what I mean by feeling like I live in Babylon. Like we live in hell. You know what I mean? It's like low, low, third dimension, dense dimension, low energy. You know, lower self. Embrace your lower self. And just
Well,
be
yeah.
wicked.
I mean, most people are, yeah, on the, utilizing the lower levels of their chakras, and like a lot of, I mean, some people don't even know what a chakra is, and you know what I'm saying. But like, okay, like a lot of them are dwelling within the lowest regions of your chakras. You know, your like I don't know, like to even say like their solar plexus are lit at all, because it's like so low level to where like some people they act as if they're, you know, like they talk woke, but they act very, I don't know,
Childlike.
very childlike. I'm sure there's a better way to describe it, but like, yeah, I don't know, man.
It's crazy. I'm gonna get into it. Let me play this though, right quick. This is just something random.
Just to make this clear, in no way, shape, or form am I promoting hate or prejudice against anybody. There are good people and there are bad people. This is dark, so I will not whitewash this. Let's go down the timeline, shall we? Before the formal police system, there were people called the Night's Watch, constables, sheriffs, and slave patrol. Before the fight between Republicans and Democrats, the fight between free states and slave states. So they all had their own individual laws. So now that we understand the separation of America, we can understand the separation of police. You know, the good cops and the bad cops. But today we're talking about the dark history, so we're going to talk about the bad cops. Originally, slave patrol originated in the early 1700s with one mission: establish a system of terror and squash slave uprising in the capacity to pursue, apprehend, and return runaway slaves to their owners. Because, you know, we weren't considered people. They had to make sure slaves weren't wandering out at night trying to run away, you know. So there was an issue because there wasn't unity. The northern and the southern states were beefing. The southern states wanted to assert their authority over federal government so they could abolish federal laws they didn't support, i.e. wanting to keep slavery. So civil war happened and declared that all personal people who held slaves with the rebellious states are henceforward shall be free. So there was no need to run or fear for your life, right? So this became this, but it was still the same thing. I can't even show the pictures that I want to show, but even after that, a lot of African Americans were still terrorized. Now today, we are going to talk about the dark history of the police. Under martial law, they can't show up to my doorstep. Just to make this clear, in no way, shape, or form am I promoting.
Yeah, that's pretty emotional right there. Comments?
I guess a comment question, like I guess it's a statement, but was there really any difference between the North and the South as far as, like you said, free and slave states? But there were
A lot of
slaves
people,
in the North.
yeah, a lot of people would argue that it wasn't much of a difference, and even the majority of the slaves being in the South doesn't really matter because the North benefited from all of that. Like, where do y'all think that all of the cotton was getting processed at? You know,
Well,
what do you
yeah,
think?
or not even I mean, because you know, there was a lot of processing done down in the South too. But as far, because see, most people don't know that a lot of the reasons why you know, they were trying to unionize the states, you know, bring everybody together, was because, you know, that was their way of being able to still make money, because that's how, you know, they were making money like after they were finished you know, filtering the cotton, you know, packing it up and sending it to Philadelphia or wherever they were sending it to. They were making the most money from the sales across, you know, when they would sell it to England or,
The
you
shipping,
know,
yeah.
yeah, different. So they were making the majority of the money, you know, up north, and that's where, you know, the conflict kind of came in. It's like, hey, you know, shit, you know, y'all making all this money off of my product, the stuff that I'm, you know, blah blah blah, you know. And they're just like, man, look, you just get with it. Look, we the ones that's making this happen, blah blah blah. This is a shit. Well, we can make it happen. That's why Savannah, Georgia, ended up becoming such a big port, going, you know,
Out
across the,
because they
yeah,
was like, we can ship too.
Yeah, we can look. We don't we know how to do this. Even do the we got the the plantations. Like shit, we'll keep all the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they still wanted to keep their slaves. It's just like okay, even with you making all this money, you're not making it any better for your slaves, whether they was white or black or the indentured servants. Whatever angle you want to look at it from, it just made everything worse. Even just as bad because it was still filled with greed. But
Yeah, yeah. So like
anyhow,
it's like it's like it's like the South want to succeed and the North is like, nah, 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 nah. Y'all can't do that.
well,
You know what I'm saying? Y'all can't hurt our pockets like that. Y'all think we could just leave? No. Anyways, I'm gonna move on from that. Let me play this TD Jakes clip. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for this.
Families. I know you can buy your own car. I know you can buy your own house. But until you create a need that I can pour into, I have no place in your life. So
What the hell happened? It didn't play the whole thing. What happened?
I don't know. Maybe that was me. My mind said shut the hell up. And
It
he
froze up.
did.
It froze up.
Kevin
The
Spacey.
other videos are playing. You did it with your
You know,
mind.
hey, I don't know. I didn't know I could do that, but you know what? I'm just gonna accept it. Because
He
I
was
mean, you
making
know
a
what?
good point. That's why I was gonna play it. I
All
don't
right,
care about the
all right,
messenger.
all right, see if you could. Well, it's not even really about the. I mean, he's a great motivational speaker. I wouldn't necessarily look to him for spiritual advice, but if I'm trying to get crunk for the day and something like that, yeah, because I mean, I used to listen to him a lot, but
Yeah, I know it's painful. I can't really but he made a
yeah,
good point on this one.
try to
He
run
says
it back.
it won't let me play it. It's whatever. It says we are
Oh,
raising our women to be men. Stop bragging about how much you don't need me and wonder why I shy away. So I really feel like this is a huge issue, in the community where, the man feels like he doesn't have no place in your life, and you making him feel that way. So then, therefore, why, and see, and then the point of me bringing this up is because of what I really feel like women are the ones that's losing. They're listening to this stuff in the media or whatever, the damn TikToks or whatever the hell. I don't know where they're getting it from. But as a result, they're losing. You know what I'm saying? With this attitude of I don't need a man.
well, and see, it wouldn't be so bad because I mean, like the thing is that like, well, you know what? Because I mean, you can any one of us can say that I don't need a woman. But to me that starts sounding like gay talk or like if a woman everybody needs somebody, and when a woman or man starts saying they don't need their counterpart, that starts to sound like they looking down the road at something else. So it's like we all need somebody. We need or we need each other. So like people really do need to cut it out. You know what I'm saying? Because shoot, can I survive without a woman? Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, I mean, all of us can survive on our own for a while, but is that the healthiest place for us?
Right, just
No.
like the one that says, my dad wasn't there. My mom raised me. I was fine. I don't think my kids need a man. I think they'll be fine. Overall, I'm sure you'd be fine if your mom can pour
Well,
out as much love into you as possible. But what do you think that it would not be more beneficial to your child to have, another parent? Like that, like that's the part. That's the part. So you're saying
yeah.
that they'll be fine, but wouldn't it not be better? Wouldn't it not to be optimal if they had at least two parents?
Yeah, but I mean, I see. I'm like even before we even talk about the kids, because I mean, just for the sanity of like the two people, the relationship between the two people, before we even talk about even children, like I mean, for each one to have a certain level of sanity, is really for them, of course, like people being fair with each other, but to have that existence between two. Like without those two, you really have nothing else. I mean, you have, or either you're causing some form of dysfunction, and it's not, because whatever dysfunction you have in yourself to think that you don't need a relationship with your counterpart is going to
And
cause some dysfunction into your children. So it's like,
and I think that
and
I think you're right.
I
And
don't,
I mean, like, who doesn't want some help? Who wouldn't like somebody to, you know, damn, split the bills with you or something? Like at the very least, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to cook dinner every night, like something. Like what? There's
bro.
no benefit at all to the other person being there.
Yeah, and look, as much as I, because like I'm a pretty well-rounded person or whatever, but when I really look at things, when I, really talk about my real feelings and stuff, like, overall, I think I'm still kind of angry about, my relationship with, with my dad, not really having a real relationship with my dad and the way he left my mom. I mean, like I've, have to accept the fact that he was a selfish fuck. As much as I love him, and want to, because like I think as I'm getting older, it's harder for me to even deal with him because I'm like, okay, the more I deal with as being a father and can see all the things that my son needs, and like the opportunity, like he had way more opportunity to be day to day than I do at this time, and I know like how much my son needs that interaction, and just let me know how much I really needed it as well. So I mean, sometimes I feel like it's a blessing and a curse because like I know if he was there, like there'll be certain things that I'd be naive to, but at the same time, at least I would have had a certain amount of structure to where I would be more, but I mean that's the dysfunction, that I'm talking about. I'm living with a certain level of dysfunction because, I have anger to my dad for being selfish and, for whatever reason he left.
There's so many parts of this that makes it bad. It's horrible. I heard a story where the lady was coming home to set up a birthday party. She has a smaller kid, like 2 years old, less than two, is in the car seat, and she gets out the car to set up the birthday party for her other child, and she forgot about the child in the seat, and he was out there for some hours and died in the car. And when I heard that story, when I was reading that story, what I was
Well,
thinking, what I was thinking was, I bet you she doesn't have no man. Because I'm like, where's the dad at?
no,
Because
bro. Say, bro, no, no. I mean, I'm sure that I mean, like, there's a lot of things I think we skipped before that because it's like, for you to be that careless, like, you really forgot that you had a baby. I can't imagine it. Like, what I'm saying? I hope to never be in that type of position to where I could, forget any, like, I only have one kid, but, even if I had five, like, I'm going to get to the point where I'm doing head count. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, do I have all my crew with me? Is my basketball team here? You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, where my
yeah,
starting five at? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
All right, one, two, wait a minute, hold on, hold on, what my little Wody at? Let me go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I, there's no way. There's that I can't make it. It can't
yeah.
be that easy.
I agree
It
with you. I
can't be.
don't see how I got 3 kids. I couldn't imagine. I don't even know how that could happen. But what I'm saying is, your fail safe would be another person.
Yeah, your fail
Maybe you
safe.
are tripping. Maybe you had a day you was tripping. You was had high anxiety about something. Your mind ain't working right. That's the reason why you need somebody else there to be like, because when you tripping, you don't know you tripping. You get what I'm saying? And this is
Well,
what's this.
I get it. I totally
Yeah,
feel you with that because see, like I mean, of course, like I have family, like I got cousins, that's it's a bunch of them and this, that, and the other. But the way we was raised, even like the ones that's the single parents, guess what? The kid, if mama didn't get them, because it's already assignment for the oldest girl or the oldest child to get the baby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they learning early. You don't want to. You have to deal with all this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? That's their way of teaching them. You don't want to have no kids too soon now. But however, I mean, yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from because yeah, like that other person, that other adult is gonna be a fail safe because all right, you run out to do this, that, and the other. It's gonna be somebody that's gonna be like gonna hold up as like, damn, okay, well I guess I'm
I'm
left
gonna,
to do this, and
yeah, I'm gonna
that
just
or
grab the
whatever.
baby because she obviously forgot about the baby. I'm finna grab the baby then. Baby, did you know you
Well,
left the
no,
baby in the car? Oh shit!
it,
Thank
wa-
you for getting the baby.
well, I mean, but nah, because at that point it's really no, it wasn't that they forgot. It was more so no. Look, I'm I didn't want to deal with it. You deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Like
But if
that's
there, but if there ain't no other person there to deal with it, then it don't get dealt with.
yeah. Your responsibility is higher, and you got to know that. And I say, bro, I go hard on like mamas that forget. Like say, bro, I have no forgiveness. I really don't. Like I have no forgiveness for that parent, that mother, like it's been like there was a father that did it too. He went to work with like this was some years ago now, but it was a father instead of dropping his kid off at daycare, he felt like he did drop him off at daycare, went to work, and the baby is still in the parking lot in the car. At this point, when they find him, is dead,
Yeah,
bro. I said, but I ain't gonna, I have no forgiveness, bro.
yeah, man. And it's really hot. I wanted to get to the heat, but before I get to the heat, let me read this right here. Hopefully, we don't stay on this long. It says, women in Missouri can't get a divorce while pregnant. Many fear what this means post-grow. The messaging is that the father's rights are more than the mother's rights, said the daughter of a domestic violence survivor who had to wait until she gave birth to divorce her abuser.
Wow.
Let me read the top comment on here. It says, this is the person who posted it. He says, damn, y'all really lost freedom, right? Wing Republicans doing everything to create a welfare state despite claiming to be against it. I just gotta laugh because I've been ranting about this shit since 6th grade when y'all didn't give a F about politics. Now you acting like this shit happened overnight.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm gonna say this on that first statement because I think women are like freaking out because like there's a place where because I mean many places around the world the father gets the kid. Like if the mother don't want to be there, she can go, but you're not taking these kids nowhere because this is the most the best foundation they have. Like there's the most security they have, and blah blah blah. So like there's a lot of fathers in other, especially I know in Africa, like the fathers end up raising the children because he had like for whatever reason, we find like there's more women these days that has that the mental stability I think is an issue that they don't really want to face or deal with. Now we have more places where they're dealing with the mental health and this, that, and the other. So I mean, and then especially like the different things that women are going through during childbirth, the different feelings, like there's all kind of things that they're going through that they don't really know how to deal with. And if you don't have mama or somebody that's like can be there to help and this, that, and the other. Like, I can only imagine the stuff that they really feeling, and you know, it's a lot of dynamics that's going on. But then for a man that's seeing his wife that's dealing with these things, and she's talking about wanting to leave and this, that, and the other. Yes, he's gonna be angry. Yes, he's pissed because he's like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I'm saying? I married an adult, and like a lot of times, men we don't know all of the shit that's going on, with their bodies, the hormones and the like, chemical dispersions, in their body. Like we don't really get it. Like I found out a lot of stuff after the pregnancy of, the different things that, that goes on. So like I can even speak the way I'm speaking now. But bro, you know, it's a tough thing, but I mean, you pregnant and you're married and you think your husband is not gonna be upset that you're talking about leaving him or even having an abortion? Like what? Or you want a divorce and you're pregnant with his kid? Like you you playing, right? You should. Okay. So I mean, like I said, I see it from both sides, but somebody's got to show to have some sanity in that situation. Like
It's tough, man. Let me play this clip for jokes.
I'm up. I can run faster than a bitch around the house. I'm alive. I'm dead. I'm watching TV. I'm looking at you. Fuck you. I'm dead again. I'm up. I can run faster than a bitch around the house. I'm alive. I'm dead. I'm watching TV. I'm looking at you. Fuck you. I'm dead again. I'm up. I can run faster than a bitch around the house.
When I first saw it, it gave me giggles. I laughed really hard at that.
Yeah, man. I had a dog like that, bro. Like, what was it? Damn, man, they just had so much energy, bro. Like, damn, I can't think of the name of the dog. Her name was Jana, but man, she could not sit still, and she wanted to play all the time. But yeah, that's funny as hell.
Yeah. Let me play. Can I play? Do y'all know where this clip is from before I play this? It's the Sci-Hi interview. I hope this ain't on something I can't play. It's hard to tell when it's on here. So I don't know where they got this from, but he's talking about Atlanta being on a crystal. Let me play it.
A lot of people don't know. Reason why Atlanta is so great like that, because Stone Mountain is a large piece of granite.
Mm-hmm.
And it travels all the way through the city, and Atlanta is on top of like one of the largest pieces of granite in America.
That's a fact.
And what it is that when that sun hit that granite, the vibration off the ground and off the people, it kind of translates. And I was doing some studying that it goes all the way back to Egypt. There's a rock where it's like, you know how the pyramids are lined up with a lot of different
the stars.
Yeah, stars, and the stars and different things like that. So I've been getting into it more, and
that's why the KKK was founded there. And they got the damn Confederate
I'm from where the KKK was founded.
Yeah,
for sure.
Which is crazy.
Crazy.
Atlanta has such a deep. Killer Mike has sent me something about culture the other day.
19 keys, high level conversation.
Fuck. Anyways, what you think about that?
Well, I mean, I know that I knew about it being granite, and I guess I never really conceptualized the whole idea of, what that does for people or even against people, because, some of those energies can be so strong to where, like, if you don't really know what it is and how to use it, it can actually probably be more detrimental to you than positive for you. So I mean, maybe we can say, it does give some explanation about, some of the stuff that goes on there. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if to say if it's more positive going on in Atlanta or negative, or if it's what to really say about that. But I definitely need to do some more research on that.
Yeah, the idea of, he said, how it vibrates when the sun hits it and how it affects the people. That's interesting to me.
Well, I mean, just the essence of it, because I mean, really, what probably wakes it up even more is a good rain. I mean, or even after the rain. You know what
The
I'm saying? Because I mean,
vibration of the rain making the frequency.
yeah, it's a total frequency, and but a lot of times, I mean, because the sun, the radiation from the sun is waking it up and giving it some life. But I'll say also that even with the rain, like the purity and the cleansing of that crystal. You know what I'm saying? It's
That's
I'm
interesting
sure.
stuff. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
each
look
way.
into that more for sure. I want to know more about that.
Yeah.
Did you know that Sesame Street was originally created in Harlem for black kids? I hadn't heard that before.
I am not surprised. It used to be a pure thing. Like, well, I see. Now's the thing. Like, I was raised up more on on PBS.
Me
And that's
too.
where we got Sesame Street and what was the white man that changed his shoes all the time?
Oh
And he
yeah,
had
my
a pair of
neighbor.
shoes for everything.
He
Yeah,
is my neighbor. I can't think of his name right now. Yeah,
yeah.
I grew up on
Mr.
that.
Rogers, Mr.
Mr. Rogers.
Rogers.
Yeah, I grew up
Yeah,
on
man.
that too, and my reaction is just like yours was. Like, I'm not surprised. I hadn't heard this before, but it sounds very believable. It's not surprise. I'm not. It's not surprising. And then
Yeah, well, I mean,
over
if you think
time,
about some of the people, if you think about some of the people who spend a lot of time on the show, I mean, what's the dude name? The shit, he been having gray hair for 50 years already. What's his shit? The actor, like, not like the black actor that we look at
LeVar Burton,
like no
Reading
above
Rainbow guy.
Denzel. Well, he was part of that too. Well, damn.
Yeah,
He ended up being the voice for a lot of different stuff too. I'll think of it later. But there's a lot of black people that was on the show that you know from early, like I remember more from the early '80s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let me play this clip.
Didn't sit well with Southern stations. At this point, tension increased. Out in Mississippi, they removed Sesame Street. The reason? Blatant apparent. Whew. Way too much complaints from them parents. They figured man cancel them. Ain't one little Billy playing with man in them. Ain't one kid from the streets to excel. You don't believe? See for yourself.
Sesame Street, it is integrated racially, isn't it?
Yes.
Do you think that had anything to do with the tabling, if that's what we can call it accurately, of Sesame Street? The fact that it heavily integrated, that there is a black father figure in the program?
That's an extremely difficult question.
That dude looked down at his hand. That's an extremely difficult question. Basically, I know the answer to that, but I can't answer that on TV. Let me play one more of these little quick clips. This one, Dubai. Apparently, it says Nigerians on the rampage in Dubai. A video has gone viral showing Nigerians armed with cutlasses raging on the streets of Ajman, Dubai, UAE. The tweet, Callistus Chekwub, who shared the video, simply said, "See what our African brothers are doing in UAE, Ajmi, Dubai." Let me play it because they're like breaking people's windows. Let me see.
I don't care until I know why.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I don't know what's going on. I'm, you know me. That's the anarchist. So yeah,
I mean,
these
I'm
guys.
sure, but I'm sure there's a good reason.
Yeah, look. These guys are running around. Look, okay, now it looks like Arabic people in this car, and they just bust out all the windows of the car with the hatchet. And then they're screaming. It's like they're saying something. People got out the car looking around like, what the hell is going on? Why are y'all tripping? And they just running around with these hatchets. You can't really tell what's going on. It's just like chaos. But you can see that they're clearly not trying to really hurt anyone, because if they were, somebody would be hurt already.
Oh yeah, they would have drugged somebody out the car and
So when there's no gunshots, it's just screaming and people running with hatchets. It's like a
well,
scene
I
out
don't know.
of a video
Shit,
game.
if you swing on a car with a hatchet, it ain't you ain't just hitting the glass. You might have hit somebody across the face with the hatchet.
Or at least the glass could have cut someone. So those people in the car obviously didn't have guns because that wouldn't have worked here in Texas.
What? I mean, especially Houston, but really nowhere. Like I don't, bro. Like I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. We can say Texas, but I say shit really nowhere in the South. Period.
Because if you randomly run up on somebody's car and bust their windows out like with a big ass knife, then they're gonna automatically take that as a threat.
What? A threat, man. If somebody if in that case, I'm just like almost anywhere in the United States, but I'm gonna definitely say here in the South, even if they wasn't packing, somebody was gonna get run over. You like that car would have got started and somebody would have got ran over.
Yeah. So what it makes me think is that maybe they had some kind of reason to be wilding out, and that's the reason why people wasn't reacting to them.
Well,
Like
I don't
something
know,
fucked
bro.
up had happened.
The first thing that come to my mind is because I mean when I hear stuff about why I don't know why I was just thinking Saudi Arabia, but the Dubai and all that is like it's a lot of freaky shit that go on in Dubai. Like
Yeah.
shoot, it might be some human trafficking stuff
Yep.
went on or something down there. It's like, oh no, you done kidnapped my kid or like whatever, like, and they losing they lost it just like any other parent I think would or should, you know.
Yeah. Who knows? Who
So
knows?
I don't know.
Yep. Who knows? I mean, how did all the Nigerians be there in Dubai and why are they mad? I mean, I would automatically think that it's something a valid reason.
Yeah.
And until people in this country and people in this world get it into their heads that the first modern human beings that evolved on this earth were black women, they evolved in sub-Saharan Africa, and every human being on the face of the earth today has the memory of those black women's genetic structures in their genes. Now, we don't want to admit that, but that's the way it is. We need to stop telling the myths and start telling the truth. If we start teaching, we are the mothers of.
Okay. I just wanted to play that first part.
Yeah. I mean, that whole thing is being like that is they changing science. Like they don't give a shit about science. So like, what's the point? I mean, to me, like nowadays, you know, those who know, and you need to live accordingly. You know what I'm saying? Realize how precious your life is and try to protect it as much as possible, because I mean there's a bunch of people who just don't, like regardless of your genes being the most dominant and they or your child or they come from your lineage or whatever some kind of way, they don't care about that. A lot of them just don't. So
Yep. Mass psychosis. So let's get to that. Let me see. There's one headline. I kind of wanted to play this. It said, "Why are so many people leaving the church?" I can't play that, but
did you see the one of the videos I sent yesterday
what was it?
about your president's wife, your first lady?
No, I don't think I saw that. What was it?
She was in Texas. She was in San Antonio. And she gave a speech about it was a Hispanic kind of I forget exactly what they was celebrating or whatever, but they she referred to them as like, how great, like a reference for them were the tacos, and it pissed them off. Like it was like so racist that it's like, oh hell no, like some people cheered, but then I guess when it really starts sinking in, they got pissed off, and I guess you could say that like for me, like they could the Hispanics, they can go and I guess the the people who represent them as far as the organizations for Hispanics or whatever, shoot, went
I'm a
off
little
on
mad
them.
about something. We try.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they went off on them, and in comparison, I mean, because the reason why I was saying is like, see, at least they got people that talk the way they supposed to talk to the president and them for saying some stupid shit, but then we got a bunch of coons that's in place that'll be like, oh, pretty much, oh, Master, that's all right, no, it's no problem, yeah, I love fried chicken and watermelons. Yeah, let's, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like the difference between the Hispanics and the blacks and black people, regardless of your status or whatever. But I mean, as far as black people, like is they really said how it should have happened. Like they should have got chastised, just like, and they should get chastised anytime they say some stupid shit that's out of touch with reality. I mean, you're demeaning people, and pretty much like the biggest part of you is your tacos. Is that what you're saying?
That's what we remember about you. You make some good ass tacos. The
That's all
tacos.
That's all I could think about. I mean, y'all don't really contribute shit to the world.
But y'all did contribute them tacos.
Them tacos good as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like that's.
Yeah, it's like with that other clip we was playing. Is that racist? Let me play this right here. This is going to be one of my last ones I'm going to play before we get to the meat of the show.
Trying to live up to this hot girl, city girl shit. I'm talking about we walk around, fuck these niggas, pop this pussy, get this money, fuck a bitch, and our fucking leaders are in love. These bitches in whole relationships. These bitches teaching us how to hop on and off dicks, steal money from niggas while they sleep, how to finesse a nigga out of his drugs so we can go sell it. And they over here living happily ever after. We keep standing at the bottom of the steps waiting for Megan and City Girls to drop more songs with more instructions on how to fuck our lives up. These bitches is rich and in love, bitch, and we broke and single. Well, I ain't broke, but I'm for the people, so I'm gonna act broke today. Megan, you wanna help us? Rap about how you got money back, yo. Young Miami is happily in love with a nigga who says she ugly with her wig off. If that ain't love, I don't know what the fuck is. Nikki, how did you get Kenny? Cardi, how you still going strong with Offset? Iggy, how did you get Playboy? That's like taking relationship advice from a single bitch. Come on. Bitch, you want us to be hot girls, but y'all having a Sierra summer. Shit.
This is what's happening. That's why I wanted to play that. It kind of goes with what I was saying earlier about the women losing. It's so sad because it's I don't really know what the answer is. It's fun, it's fun. They think it's cute or whatever, but then they causing themselves to be miserable and single. Meanwhile, the same ones that they follow is over here, with a man.
Well, honestly, I think that this really falls right into the main subject. Like it's the psychosis.
Yes.
Like there's a lot of things that if you pay attention and if you really seeing the world for what it is, you're not gonna allow some bullshit like this to run your life, or to think that this is some cool or some achievement to go and stealing from some guy that is showing love or some kind of concern for you or whatever, or trying to be tough, big bad bitch.
There's a clip where this chick is going off on this dude because he wouldn't buy dinner for her and all her friends. And she was like, you wrong him, you broke and all of this. And like I didn't invite all of your friends out to dinner. I invited you out to dinner. So I'm supposed to buy dinner for me at a nice restaurant too. I'm supposed to buy a dinner for me, you, and all of your friends. And you think that's logical. Like that's totally acceptable and not, unreasonable. You think that's reasonable.
No,
And she was arguing it to the point where, and I saw this other clip where it was the chick who jumped over the counter at Sonic. I don't know if y'all seen that. That's been viral too. Like, mad at the people. She making her order back there behind the counter and cussing the people. I didn't watch the whole clip. It's just debauchery, but it's just, that's it right there. It's just like really insane. Like do you not realize that you're being ridiculous, unreasonable, totally just over the top, insane.
well, some of our sisters haven't been raised. There's a bunch of them that's a bunch of grown children. Like they done went through puberty. They done went through, they done graduated high school or not. But some of them like TV raised them, and it's a shame that there's so many that um follows that type of thinking, but it's crazy, bro. Like, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm scared to even have a relationship to some extent because even some of the ones that seem to have their head on, like before you know it, they shit.
Out jumps crazy, like
You
Jack in
know?
the Box. You
Yeah.
turn the thing, you keep turning it, ding to ding to ding to ding to ding to ding, and then out jumps crazy. Like, where did that come from? Shit. Elliot says, "Don't play with people that make your food."
But look, but like what because that's just hilarious, right? Well, whatever. Like, I mean, because you got to think about the whole shit. Some of the stuff, the messaging that we get from different musicians or whatever. Because I mean, Beyonce was talking about some all you single ladies, and she, you know what I'm saying, she's straight.
Yeah.
Like telling people what they should accept or not accept, and it's like, you wasn't talking shit like that. And I mean, of course, not before, like she started talking shit after she married. You know what I'm saying? After she got her man and this, that, and the other, put a ring on it and all this, like, bro, like y'all listening to all this entertainment, like music is just like TV. You can't believe everything that you hear. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
You can't take it too serious. Just enjoy it for what it is and don't take it into your life and make it a philosophy because it's not. If you do, you fucking yourself. I want to get into this. I think I'm gonna have to read the transcript on this because I don't want to get in trouble for playing this. This video is mass psychosis, how an entire population becomes mentally ill. It's the channel. The name of the channel is After School. Let me read the caption underneath the video. It says, in this video, we're going to explore the most dangerous of all psychic epidemics, the mass psychosis. A mass psychosis is an epidemic of madness, and it occurs when a large portion of society loses touch with reality and descends into delusions. Such a phenomenon is not a thing of fiction. Two examples of mass psychosis are the American and European witch hunts, 16th and 17th century, and the rise of totalitarianism in the 20th century. This video will aim to answer questions surrounding mass psychosis. What is it? How does it start? Has it happened before? Are we experiencing one right now? And if so, how can the stages of mass psychosis be reversed? Comments?
Yes, we're going through one right now, and honestly, the way to fix it is to kill off the people who are causing it.
Disclaimer: I don't agree with that. I don't agree with his philosophy, people. Let me read Elliot's comment. He says,
Well,
"Not only."
but look, whether getting rid of those people, whether it's through whatever cause or whatever source is necessary to remove them, but I mean, I say, bro, like you can't, you can't have sanity when you're the people that's
Around you, like the whole crowd, like you're the only sane person in the crowd. Like at some
the
point, it's gonna
leadership.
get to you.
Well, if the leadership is guiding people or allow, you know what I'm saying, like pretty much saying like this type of stuff is okay and it's normal and just fit in just the best way you can. I mean, we're not dealing with a society that's got good sense. So we need people who are willing to try to put things back in order. You know, will it happen overnight? Hell no. I mean, shoot, it took us 200 to get to where we are. So take a day
It's gonna take some time.
around.
Let me read
But
Elliot's comment. He says, "Not only the lack of morals, women usually seek hypergamy relationships." I don't know that word, bro. Hypergamy.
yeah, I got to step out for a second.
All right. And then he says, living in survival mode helps create psychosis. I would 100% agree with that. And keeping people completely in fear. Like everything on the news is just fear, fear, fear. You're going to die. You're going to catch COVID. Or you're going to die of starvation. Or I don't know, threat level red. I mean, I try not to get my mind into all of the things that they're trying to scare people with. So I can't even think of them right now, but it's a long ass list. And it's like, it's so real. Anyways, he says the people have the real power. I 100% agree with that. This is the pinned comment underneath there. Let me see. It says, it was an honor. Do I want to read this? It was an honor to collaborate with Academy of Ideas. Their content is incredible. The video has been over a year in the making. I can honestly say I put every ounce of energy I had into this one. After completing this, I am mentally, physically, and emotionally exhausted, but this may be the most important message of our time. I think we can all feel that we are at a very pivotal point. The fate of our world runs along the edge of a knife. If we falter, we may descend into a nightmare. I enjoy exploring positive, enlightening ideas, but it is just as important to explore the dark side as well. Please, if you can, share this video far and wide. I really think this video is super important too. That's why I'm sharing it with y'all. And pretty much this is going to be the focus of the show today because it's going to take a while to cover this. Let me read some more comments underneath here. It says, you guys are living in one of the most brutal mental warfare. You guys are living in one of the most brutal mental warfare humanity has ever seen. Another comment, it says, it's not just a video, it's a service to humanity. Globally, we are going through this now, yet so many cannot see that they are sleepwalking straight into a totalitarian world. And they don't care. People like me is crazy as hell for even just bringing it up in conversation. It's rude to bring it up in conversation. You're just being rude. Let me read some more. It says, this is why I turned the media off at the beginning of the pandemic. I realized it was a combination, anxiety and severe confusion, toxicity in full force. I felt much better when I disconnected, and I did the same thing. I totally spent a lot of time meditating during the pandemic during quarantine. And, it changed me. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a different person now after the pandemic because being quarantined and being locked up made me reevaluate my life. I was just sitting here thinking about things, spending a lot of time thinking about things. And I think that the thing is, the way society is set up, everybody, you just got the stimulus. You know what I'm saying? Everything is emotional. Everything is, to keep you like jumping from one thing to another. And you never take a moment to reflect on yourself or the world or what you're really doing or why you're doing it. None of that shit. Like when I take a shower, a lot of times I like to turn off the light. And I take a shower without any light because a lot of times I stay in the shower and I kind of meditate. The sound of the water, the vibration of the water kind of helps. But the main thing is it's drowning out all of the stimuli. So that's another reason why I turn off the light, because I want as little stimulus as possible. Therefore, I can just kind of go into my mind and kind of just like release all thoughts and just kind of relax, or even plan something out that I want to plan out, because I plan things out in my head and I work out all the details. Anyways, that's just me. Call me crazy. Let me read the comments. Elliot says monkeypox is the new thing. Yeah, monkeypox. And then I heard them say it's a new variant of something coming out of, I don't know, somewhere in Africa. Anyways, it's gonna kill you. What was it? It was something really nasty too. Elliot says shadow work can heal your trauma. That's why that's all I do, man. I'm so traumatized. That's why it's hard to understand me. A lot of people can't understand. Yeah, I know, but severe ass trauma, I've been through. And I think that it's hard to relate to someone because you get enlightened too. They talk about how people like have, when they die and come back, or they come real close to death and stuff like that, they come back enlightened, that severe trauma enlightens them. And then it's like I say, I think it's hard to relate to regular people after that because they can't understand you at all.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, who are regular people? Because I mean, when we really get down to it, I mean, all of us messed up. I mean, even like everybody, like even like the people who swear they got it all together, man,
they don't.
And it's they well, I'm saying they have a lot of pieces of the puzzle put together, but because when you start to look down on people or judgment and this, that, and the other, you really, that's shown to me shows insanity, because for you not to be able to relate to the other people because they don't have their stuff together the way you do. Now you've become God in your own right, and you know what I'm saying, you're judgmental. So I mean, it's just that's not a sane place, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I think that's just as crazy as the rest of them. I don't think that anybody living during this day and time, really has it together. Like there's insanity even in the same. So
Yep. I got distracted. Sorry. Elliot says cold showers has less fluoride. He says if you're fucked up, put your hands in the air. No one. I'm telling you.
And wave them to the side like you just don't care.
Let me read some more comments underneath the video. It says, grateful I was raised by parents who escaped from behind the Iron Curtain. It's almost like my entire life. They prepared me to resist what is happening now by teaching me to think for myself. This video literally lays out the playbook of those who wish to control us. It is also a guide for those who want to resist, because we must resist or we will perish.
That's a definite. Where did that come from?
That's the comment underneath this video. These people are really serious, and this video is very good. I'm finna read the transcript because I can't play it. I'm gonna play the images and hopefully get away with that, and I'm gonna read the transcript because I'm pretty sure if I play this, they're gonna come for me. So I guess I'll start playing it because I want to read some more comments, but I'll probably get to them later. Let me see. Let me make sure I set this up correctly. I don't want to get in trouble. All right, I'll play it and then I'll do the transcript. How do I get to the transcript? Does it not pop? Oh, here it is. Okay, boom. All right, now make it bigger. Oh shit, the transcript went away. Hold on. Oh, is it because I'm not sharing? Am I sharing? I am sharing. Okay.
I'm not looking right now, so I can't tell you.
All right, I have to just read it. So I'm gonna just start reading it. Yeah. It says, the masses have never thirsted after truth. They turn aside from evidence that is not their taste, preferring to defy error. If error seduce them, whoever can supply them with illusions is easily their master. Whoever attempts to destroy their illusion is always their victim. According to the psychologist Carl Jung, the greatest threat to civilization lies not with the forces of nature, nor with any physical disease, but with our inability to deal with the forces of our own psyche. We are our own worst enemies, or as the Latin proverb puts it, man is wolf to man. In Civilization in Transition, Jung states that this proverb is a sad yet eternal truism, and our wolf-like tendencies come most prominently into play at those times of history when mental illness becomes the norm rather than the exception in a society, a situation which Jung termed as psychic epidemic. Indeed, it is becoming ever more obvious, he writes, that it is not famine, not earthquakes, not microbes, not cancer, but man himself who is man's greatest danger. To man, for the simple reason that there is no adequate protection against psychic epidemics, which are infinitely more devastating than the worst of natural catastrophes. In this video, we're going to explore the most dangerous of all psychic epidemics, the mass psychosis. A mass psychosis is an epidemic of madness, and it occurs when a large portion of society loses touch with reality and descends into delusions. Such a phenomenon is not a thing of fiction. Two examples of mass psychosis are the American and European witch hunts, 16th and 17th centuries, and the rise of totalitarianism in the 20th century. During the witch hunts, thousands of individuals, mostly women, were killed not for any crimes they committed, but because they became the scapegoats of societies gone mad. Let me pause it there. You want to make comments? I always bring up the damn witch thing because it's so ridiculous. It's like some guy, the girl walks by, the guy gets an erection, he looks over, he says, witch! And then they burn her and hang her. Freaking crazy.
Well, I think, it's a good possibility. Of course, this is the generation I'm living through, but I would assume that, throughout time, we've always had some form of insanity. I don't know how widespread it was, but maybe even more so than it is now, possibly. But there's always because like who's the biggest problem today? The woke community, the people who really study and is learning the truths to. Because if you really think about it, like that's who getting persecuted, whether if it's not necessarily a real lie, like a real, it's the truth.
And that's what they said earlier in the video just now. It was, the person in a psychotic society, the person that tells the lies and the delusions are celebrated. And the person that tells the truth or whatever gets persecuted.
Exactly. And that's, I think, systemic, because a lot of times that's going to come from the top, because if you messing it up for the people at the top to say, hey, like they got this plan that they put together, and you're not making it easy for them. They got to fight more to make people fall for their crap now, or people are actually trying to do something about whatever it is that, or they're asking questions like they don't know one way or the other. So the person who's willing to stand up and lie, and because I mean, there's a lot of people we see on our news stations and stuff that's supposed to be for black people, or I mean, we just say just like period, mainstream media that's willing to lie or not give the full truth in order to try to make it seem like what everybody else is saying. Because we talked about these what you call them, the checkers, the what they call them when they pay somebody to check their lies.
Fact checker. I don't know.
The fact checkers.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like these people, they get paid to lie to us and tell us some shit that so that we'll stay along, stay on the path of trusting, the government, or who the corporations who's gonna lose out if you find out the truth or you back out of what they've been selling you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, the people who lie get praised, and the people who tell you the truth, they got to make you out of the crazy person.
Okay, I want to read some more. Stop me when you want to make comments, because this video is long and I'm gonna just be reading for a while. Just stop me. Just say you want to make a comment or something.
All right.
Okay, it says, in some Swiss villages, writes Francis Hill, there were scarcely any women left alive after frenzy had finally burned itself out. It's a delusion of Satan. When a mass psychosis occurs, the results are devastating. Jung studied the phenomenon and wrote that the spirituality inferior, they sink unconsciously into an inferior intellectual level. They become more reasonably. Hold on. They become more unreasonable, irresponsible, emotional, erratic, and unreliable. And worst of all, crimes the individual alone could never stand are freely committed by the group. So that's another thing. I always bring up the SS fighters because he said crimes the individual alone could never stand are freely committed by the group. And it's also kind of like, the dogs when they get into a pack, right? They crazy, right? And we're like that too, and we'll do things in that group that we wouldn't do normally. And if we was by ourselves, we wouldn't even think of doing that stuff. And then we just get swept up in it and swept up in the moment. And then we do these horrible things.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, that is happening. I don't really know how I should
address it. Let me read some more. It said crimes an individual alone could never stand are freely committed by the group. What makes matters worse is that those suffering from a mass psychosis are unaware of what is occurring. For just as an individual gone mad cannot step out his mind to observe the errors in his ways, so too there is no academian point from which those living from a mass psychosis can observe their collective madness. But what causes a mass psychosis? To answer this question, we must first explore what drives an individual mad. While there are many potential triggers of madness, such an excessive use of drugs or alcohol, brain injuries, or other illnesses, these physical causes will not concern us here. Our concern is with psychological, or what are called psychogenic triggers, as these are the most common culprit of the mass psychosis. The most prevalent psychogenic cause of psychosis is a flood of negative emotions, such as fear or anxiety, that drives an individual into a state of panic. Pause. It says the most prevalent psychogenic cause of psychosis is a flood of negative emotions, such as fear or anxiety, that drives an individual into a state of panic. Does that not sound like the media talking to us right now.
It is.
Let me read some more. It says, when in a state of panic, an individual will naturally seek relief as it is too mentally and physically draining to subsist in the hyper emotional state. While escape from the state of panic can be accomplished through adaptive means, such as facing up to and defeating the fear-generated threat, another way to escape is to undergo a psychotic break. A psychotic break is not a descent into a state of greater disorder, as many believe, but a reordering of one's experiential world, which blends fact and fiction or delusions and reality in a way that helps end the feelings of panic. Silvano Ariti, one of the 20th century's foremost authorities on schizophrenia, explains the psychogenic steps that lead to madness. Firstly, there is the phase of panic, when the patient starts to perceive things in a different way, is frightened on account of it, appears confused, and does not know how to explain the strange things that are happening. It says interpretation of schizophrenia. The next step is what Ariti calls a phase of psychotic insight, whereby an individual succeeds in putting things together by devising a pathological way of seeing reality, which allows him to explain his abnormal experiences. The phenomenon is called insight because the patient finally sees meaning and relations in his experience. But the insight is psychotic because it's based on delusion, not on adaptive and life-promoting ways of relating to whatever threats precipitate the panic. So let me read that again. He says the insight is psychotic because it's based on delusions, not on adaptive and life-promoting ways of relating to whatever threats precipitate the panic. So basically, it's like, you're crazy, you go crazy, and then it makes sense, and because you start basing your philosophy on delusions. And then that's what we was talking about when we were talking about religion and how you lie to your kids and tell them whatever, and then so then what happens is their minds, they start basing their philosophies on this shaky ground. You know what I mean? These delusions, disillusions, these lies, these untruths. Therefore, that when things happen in their life, it doesn't make any sense. But then they try to make sense out of it using the delusion. And then when it works, a lot of religious people do this. It's like, so anything bad happens, it was God's will. Anything good happens, it's God's will. So like, I mean, okay, that's fair. That's fair, and it does make sense. But are you really, if, like he said, he says, not an adaptive and life-promoting ways of relating to whatever threats precipitated the panic. So are you really being logical about the situation when you just say, God is, I didn't get the job because of God, or I got the job because of God. You know what I mean?
That is hilarious because, I mean, like, if you really read, like, I mean, if we're following the text, I can tell you more so about the Bible than I can about the Quran. But it tells you, faith without works, that, like, if you don't do something, you're not going to get anything. You can sit and praise and you think something magical happened. No, maybe there's this such thing as some luck, or, your energy was ready, like if you talk law of attraction, your energy was just right for that situation. I mean, to think God is outside of you, I mean, it's you're gonna have a tainted vision of what these things are when they happen. So
yeah. So then you're right and you're wrong at the same time, because the reason why you didn't get the job was because of God, and the reason why you got the job was because of God. It was you.
And then when something
What
doesn't
you did
happen the way
wrong.
but when something happened that you don't think, like, when let's just say I don't know what's a good example. I mean, because like really, if something happens or you expect something to happen because you've been doing all the right things or this, that, and the other, and it doesn't fall through, then now you have to blame God for not doing the right thing for you, or like when your expectation is that, oh, God is gonna just do it, and it doesn't happen. Now you have to blame Him for you not having success. So
Yeah.
it's like it's a
It's a
rough road to try to ride when
it's
what
a
I'm saying.
childlike, simplistic as way of going at the world.
Yeah.
Or looking at the world. Like you're not really taking everything into consideration. You're leaving a lot of shit out. And so you can simplify it and that's it. So you're like, I don't want to have to think about all of that. So I'm gonna just, give it away to God.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do no self-evaluation.
What could I have done different? Like people hate that question. What could I have done different? What more could I have done? Like instead, like yeah, a lot of people do not want to, look in the mirror. They don't want to have to ask themselves the real questions. So, but yeah, I can see that forming some insanity in somebody.
I'm gonna read some more. To make sure I don't have comments. I have to keep going back because I can't see both screens. Okay. It says the delusions, in other words, allow the panic-stricken individual to escape from the flood of negative emotion, but at the cost of losing touch with reality. See, that's basically what we just said. Let me read that again. It says the delusions, in other words, allow the panic-stricken individual to escape from the flood of negative emotions, but at the cost of losing touch with reality. And for this reason, Areti says the psychotic break can be viewed as an abnormal way of dealing with the extreme state of anxiety.
Man, that's heavy. I mean, I know so many people that's dealing with that, like getting mad at me because I see or may, when I express my vision or like how I'm seeing the world. I mean, of course, I'm the one that's crazy. I'm the one that, I'm wasting my time shuffling this paperwork, doing this, doing that, or whatever. But the proof, you've been seeing the proof. Like, I mean, when stuff don't make enough sense, like at some point you got to figure out something. Like you don't just sit around and just be like, well, that's just the way it is, bro. Like God, if you really believe in God, let's you know what I'm saying. If you let's look at it from your, I'll take it to them. Like let's look at it from your point of view. Even from your point of view, everything you're saying is that it's crazy. Like I mean. Like it's insane for you to continue doing what you're doing, even based on. Wait a minute. I don't know.
Even based on, yeah, I can hear you. It's
okay.
Even based on your own logic is what you mean. Like even based on your own logic, because you keep on doing the same thing and keep on expecting to get different results, and it's not gonna ever happen. And then you pray about it. That's not gonna help either. You need to change what you're doing. Go at it in a different way.
Yeah.
Let me read some more. It says, if a panic triggering flood of negative emotions in a weak and vulnerable individual can trigger a psychotic break, then a mass psychosis can result when a population of weak and vulnerable individuals is driven into a state of panic by threats, real, imagined, or fabricated. But as delusions can take many forms, and as madness can manifest in countless ways, the specific manner in which mass psychosis unfolds will differ based on the historical and cultural context of the infected society. But in the modern era, it is the mass psychosis of totalitarianism that appears to be the greatest threat. Totalitarianism, writes Arthur Verslius, is the modern phenomenon of total centralized state power coupled with the obliteration of individual human rights. In the totalized state, there are those in power, and they're the objectified masses, the victims.
You know, one of the, I guess one of the things. This is a question I asked myself years ago because I mean, you know, of course, there's white supremacy. There's people who hate different races just because you know they're not them. You know, they're not the. You know, they don't consider those people like them. But I mean, is it possible that there's a great deal of white people in this country that just don't appreciate the way that the country is being ran, and maybe the reason that they're upset with black people is because they're too blind to see what's really happening, or they're too accepting of the bullshit? It's like, wait a minute, y'all not helping the country grow. Like, I mean, we're allowing these people to run us over because you keep voting the dumbest people and the most using people into office, and we can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, is it possible that these people don't like other black people because they're stupid, or they're you know, they're not using their minds the way they should? They done got caught up in the psychosis so much to where, you know, this is why they don't like you, and it's not necessarily because of your skin color. I mean, you know, that's just a question I ask myself because I mean, like I said, I'm not crazy to believe that it's not, you know, like people that really just don't like you just because, you know, your skin color. But I'm willing to believe that it's more so, you know, a bunch of white people out here is just like, how do you keep falling for the bullshit? Like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're fighting against me that, you know, really is trying to, you know, help the entire world. Like, I don't give a damn about your color, none of this, that, and the other, whatever. But you know, we need to see some righteousness or some, you know, this country is falling to shit. How do you not see that?
And I think that the people that run the show don't give a damn about color, really, because they smart enough to understand that that's bullshit. So, like, that's what they're talking about right here. They're talking about the totalitarianism system that we live in, and then they're splitting it into two people. What did they say? Hold on, let me see. It says totalitarianism is the modern phenomenon of total centralized state power coupled with the obliteration of individual human rights. So y'all don't have no fucking rights. They got rights, you don't. And then it says, in the totalized state, there are those in power, and they're the objectified masses. So it's basically the ones who are running the show and everybody else. There's no middle class. That's it. You know, and
which we're really getting very like, if we don't do what's necessary, if we don't fight the right battles, like if we keep getting distracted by bullshit and allowing other things to happen in the background that we don't know, before you know it, we'll have a totalitarian state.
I think it's already, and it's becoming more. I think they're gripping their grip. That's the pinch. They're pinching the shit out of us, taking more and more rights away, and basically just control more and more and more controlled. And meanwhile, we're just scrolling TikTok. We happy as long as they don't take our phones away. If they take our phones away, we're gonna revolt. If they turn the internet off, but see, that's what these dumbasses don't fucking see. Because when it becomes really, really totally totalitarianism, they will turn the internet off, and there ain't gonna be nothing you could do. Cry about it. They're gonna limit your internet.
No, well, I think that they would keep it, mainly because that's like the easiest way to track you and to
control
each
you.
individual. Yeah, and they can control you with the media, the things that they let you see, things that get things that get under your skin, things that make you smile, things that make you cry. Like.
And I used to think that back in the days, what went viral was actually an organic thing that went viral. Now I don't think there's anything that organically goes viral. I think that everything that goes viral, it
was planned.
Yeah.
It was staged. Yeah.
Yeah, they use their algorithm or whatever tools that they have to push this thing to make it go viral.
Oh well, yeah, from that standpoint too. But I'm also thinking about some of the people that's sitting there planning, the videos that they're acting out, and then of course like some of those things can be, because I mean the most ratchet, the most silliest, stupid shit is what goes viral instead of the knowledge, the things that people really need to know, the things that's gonna
and that's why I know it's manipulated, because if it was organic, sometimes it wouldn't be ratchet shit that would go viral. Sometimes, every now and then, it would be something that would be helpful to people that would go viral. Some information that a lot of people need to know, that needs to get out there. But that's like never happens. It's only ratchet shit that goes viral. So everybody only likes ratchet shit. Like there's no other people on the planet like me and you and the rest of the people who watch this show.
There's plenty of us, but they got the same dilemma we got. We sitting around like, what the fuck? There's so many WTFs that's going on, you know what I'm saying? It's just
it's frustrating. Let me read some more. In a totalitarian society, the population is divided into two groups, the rulers and the ruled, and both groups undergo a pathological transformation. The rulers are elevated to an almost godlike status, which is diametrically opposed to our nature as imperfect beings who are easily corrupted by power. The masses, on the other hand, are transformed into dependent subjects of those pathological rulers and take on a psychological regression, a childlike status. Wow. Hannah Arendt, one of the 20th century preeminent scholars.
You mean as a minority? I mean minor. Wait a minute.
That too. Let me go back because that's really good. Hold on, let me go back.
Yeah, that he said that was a lot just been said right there. That little statement.
It said the masses, on the other hand, are transformed into dependent subjects of these pathological rulers and take on a psychologically regressed and childlike status.
All right, so the childlike status has already happened, because I mean we have one group of people that pretty much what we would say white men that have the majority, and then everybody else pretty much is fighting over who's gonna get the crumbs for the minority position, or who's gonna withhold the strongest position in the minority realm. So I mean, if you don't know who the minorities are, I mean, of course we're looking at black people. Some people say the brown, which I don't even know if that's a real thing, but black people, women, I guess actual children, LGBT, like all these people are fighting for the number 2 spot. They want to be able to be the class that's going to be elevated as who's got the the most power after the ruling class, I guess you would say.
So yeah, it creates this pitting of different groups to each other, against each other, to fight against each other, to just to keep the people that's running the show to keep running the show, keep us from fighting them.
Yeah, it make us want to fight our own brothers, sisters, cousins, and whatever, just because you want that, you want the clout, you want to be able to get you want to say you the one with the power, but all in all, you still just at the bottom of the barrel with everybody else. They just give you that idea or that delusion.
The illusion. Let me read some more. Hannah Arendt, one of the 20th century preeminent scholars of this form of rule called totalitarianism, an attempted transformation of human nature itself. But this attempted transformation only turns sound mind into sick minds, for as the Dutch medical doctor who studied the mental effects of living under totalitarianism wrote, there is in fact much that is comparable between the strange reactions of the citizens of totalitarianism and the culture as a whole on the one hand and the reactions of the sick schizophrenic on the other. The rape of the mind. The social transformation that unfolds under totalitarianism is built upon and sustained by delusions. For only deluded men and women regress to childlike status of obedient and submissive subjects and hand over complete control of their lives to politicians and bureaucrats. Only a deluded ruling class will believe that they possess the knowledge, wisdom, and acumen to completely control society in a top down manner. And only when under the spell of delusions would anyone believe that the society composed of power hungry rulers on the one hand and the psychological regressed population on the other will lead to anything other than the mass suffering and social ruin. The mass psychosis of totalitarianism has been induced many times throughout history, and as Mirlo explains, it is simply a question of reorganizing and manipulating collective feelings in the proper way. The general method by which the members of a ruling hold on. Is it playing? It's got to catch up. What's going on? How come it ain't catching up? 8:37. Did I lose link or something? Something happened, y'all. Is this at 9:05? Oh, because it's a big gap right there. That's why. The mass psychosis of totalitarianism has induced many times throughout history, and as Mirlo explains, how come it's a big gap right here? Something's going on.
You know why you think they really want Americans to put their guns down? Like, I mean, they got to take a process, because if it doesn't happen this decade or next decade, like, they hope to work on one of these generations to be like, well, there's no need for these guns, and I mean, like, a lot of times they're saying that, like this, oh well, your gun rights are not being attacked, but honestly, it really is. Like, I mean, like, I think we're the only country that really has this kind of power to be able to protect ourselves this way. Um, but they want total rule, and they can't if you're able to defend yourself from them.
I don't know about that. I think that the economics is the way that they control you. They don't care how many guns you got, because you got to go to work. You got to
No,
pay
they
that
do.
light bill. You got to pay
No,
that
they
mortgage.
they do care, because guess what? If we don't like the shit enough, if enough people get together like this is some bullshit, and we take on arms and we move their ass out of place, all the work that they've been doing for the last 1,500 years has gone down the road, gone down the drain. Because, I mean, some people think that this is a new idea. Like, no, this is a plan they've been having since Rome, since maybe even before Rome. Like when they were taking over Egypt at some point, like maybe even 2,000 years or so ago. Like, that's their whole thing. They've been wanting to take over the world, and they've fallen quite a few times since. Whether it was Babylon, whether it's Rome, whether it's here in America, they keep falling because, I mean, it's just not, this is, I guess we could say God is not allowing that to be the case. But if we keep on allowing bullshit to continue, like, it could actually get there. Like, there's been monarchies before, so I mean, it's not like it's impossible to
And
happen
it wouldn't even
again.
be strange. It wouldn't even be strange. Let me read some more. It says, it is simply a question of reorganizing and manipulating collective feelings in the proper way. The general method by which the members of a ruling elite can accomplish this end is called menticide, with the etymology of this word being a killing of the mind. And as Mirlo further explains, menticide is an old crime against the human mind and spirit, but systematized anew. It is an organized system of psychological intervention and judicial perversions through which a ruling class can imprint their own opportunistic thoughts upon the minds of those they plan to use and destroy. The rape of the mind. Priming a population for the crime of menticide begins with the sowing of a fear so as to place population into the state of panic that primes them for a descent into the delusionary beliefs of a psychosis. A particularly effective technique to accomplish this ends is to use waves of terror. Under this technique, the sowing of fear is staggered with periods of calm, but each of these periods of calm is followed by a manufacturing of an even more intense spell of fear. And on the process goes, as Mirlo writes. Each wave of terrorizing creates its effects more easily after a breathing spell. Then the one that precedes it becomes because people are still disturbed by their previous experience. Morality becomes lower and lower, and the psychological effects of each new propaganda campaign become stronger, and it reaches a public already softened up. While fear primes a population for menticide, the use of propaganda to spread misinformation and to promote confusion with respect to the source of the threats and the nature of the crisis helps to break down the minds of the masses. Government officials and their lackeys in the media can use contradictory reports, nonsensical information, and even blatant lies as more they confuse, the less capable will a population be to cope with the crisis and diminish their fear in a rational and adaptive manner. Let me stop because they said a lot of shit. Because that sounds like what the hell is happening. Let me go back. Oh
Yeah,
shit.
I was listening to a video earlier. Um, Matter of fact, I mean it was an interview that they had with Tariq Nasheed, No Jumper, and we're just kind of talking about some of the things that he really always talk about. But I think like the dynamics in which like a lot of foreigners that's come here doesn't care enough about America to fight for the freedoms. And my personal thought after all of that is like, where you gonna run to when, if it happens, if what happened in your country happens here in America. You know what I'm saying? Where you gonna go? Because you came here for freedom, right? So I mean, if you allow all the same things that happened in your country to come here, where you go next? There is nowhere else to go. But
Yep, you got to make here home because it really is your home. It says government officials and their lackeys in the media can use contradictory reports, nonsensical information, and even blatant lies as more they confuse, the less capable will a population be to cope with the crisis. Like, God, this sounds like the playbook that's playing. It says they confuse the less, he says, as the more they confuse, the less capable will a population be to cope with the crisis and diminish their fear in a rational and adaptive manner. So they're just like, that's why when we went through the pandemic, it was all this confusion and misinformation. And then it seems like to this point that to this date, they never really got to the bottom of COVID and really just made it clear to us what was the best, healthiest ways to deal with all of this stuff. The data should be coming out now. Why don't they just clearly
but look, for some of us that paid attention in life science and the different sciences, that remember what they said on about different viruses and or this that the third because based on like natural immunity, like we're hearing all these new things in science that when you making up shit as you go, yeah, you're gonna hear all kind of different shit. So you mean to tell me that all the science that's been studied for thousands of years, now it doesn't exist anymore because this new thing that's hit the scene is nothing like anything you've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's the case, we dead anyway. Like, I mean, like and for people to really, what I'm saying, and I somewhat get it because like a lot of people don't really, they did not pay attention in science class or They don't pay attention to their doctor when they listen to when they at the, like it's just whatever they say and taking this or whatever. No, I mean you gotta you gotta be curious and care enough about yourself to know for yourself instead of just relying on what other people got to say, because you definitely gonna get used and abused if that's the case.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
they don't listen to nobody. They're zombie robots and they just follow the freaking script.
And don't know that, I mean, like they act as if like there's not an agenda against them. Like, they feel so insignificant that, oh, there's no way that they would try to do that to me. Like, what's the point? What they gonna get out of it? Like, oh my God.
Because
like,
you don't see no value in yourself. That's the reason why they feel like it doesn't matter. There's nothing you could do about it. It's whatever. I'm a nobody. Who are you? You talking to me. You're a nobody too. So you can't do nothing about it either. So you should just, do whatever they say because you're a nobody. And you don't matter.
You took one when you was a kid. Yeah, I didn't have a choice. I have one. I have a choice now. Like, I'm not a baby, like it's different now. I can actually think for myself.
Okay, let me read some more. It says confusion, in other words, heightens into the delusion of totalitarianism, as Milo explains. Hold on, I'm behind. Logic can be met with logic, while illogic cannot. It confuses those who think straight. I'm glad I stopped.
Oh my, bro! I feel like I'm about to get the Holy Ghost. I'm in church. Oh my God! Now that was some real shit said right there.
Let me read it again. It says logic can be met with logic, while illogic cannot. It confuses those who think straight. Oh my God. I be having conversations with people so much, and then I get lost, and I'm like, what the fuck?
I'm like, wait a minute. Like, I want to have them to say it again, but it's going to hurt my brain to hear it again. So I'm just like, okay, you know what?
Because I get stuck
whatever you want, however you so I get to the point. It's like, all right, whatever you want to think, you go right ahead, because I mean, I see there's no getting through to you. So you look, you just need to go down the path you're going. Just look, get in line with the rest of the cattle.
Because I get stuck. I'm having a conversation with somebody and they say a certain line, and then they might keep on talking, but I'm still on that line, like trying to figure it out, like, and I'll just be stuck. I'll be like, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Like, where is he going with this? Like,
after a while, all I hear is, you know what I'm saying? You were meant to be herded. Get on in line. That you going in the right direction.
It's like I can't help you at all. So carry on. Have a good day.
You know what I'm saying?
It says the big lie and monotonous. Hold on. The big lie and monotonously repeated nonsense have more emotional appeal than logic and reason. While the people are still searching for a reasonable counter-argument to the first lie, the totalitarians can assault them with another. The rape of the mind.
Yeah. And it's amazing some of the people that gets the full attention of people.
Yeah, it's the guy that's farting or eating his poop or eating bugs or something.
Well, no, I mean, I'm thinking about. I mean, the last name Dollar, first name. Like the preachers and the ones that they doing well for themselves, because like the hustle, like the thing that they're telling you to do, they're not gonna do, because guess what? Look, their plan is already in action. You are already set to dig in your pockets and give it to them before you leave that stadium or what, wherever y'all at. And his payday is right now, and all the stuff that he telling you should be trying to do and this, that, and the other, he don't have to, because guess what? His payday is right here, right now.
And then everybody looks up to these people because they give value to the person that has money or whatever. It's like, oh, he has a bunch of money, he's successful, but he's lying to people, and people are giving him money. He's ripping people off, really. But you still look up to this guy. He's successful. He has a bunch of money. You can't be mad at what he's doing. Well, you just mad because you can't do it.
You the one that's a hater.
You just hating on that man. He making his money.
No, I hate the fact that your ass gonna be borrowing money from me next week because you done gave out all your money to this dude, and I could have gave you better advice than he gave you, and I ain't gonna charge you nothing.
It's free.
I don't want nothing from you. I want to see you prosper. I want to see you go. I don't need not a dollar from you, but you know what I'm saying. This dude make you feel happy for giving him money on something that he got to come back and reinforce to you again next week. So
same bet time. Same bet channel.
Like there's never any graduation from church. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be teaching people, but nobody ever learned enough for you not to show up next week.
You gotta hear that. You gotta hear that word next week. Let me read some more. While the people are still searching for a reasonable counter argument to the first lie, the totalitarians can assault them with another, the rape of the mind. Never before in history have such effective means existed to manipulate a society into the psychosis of totalitarianism. Smartphones and social media, television, and the internet, all in conjunction with bots that spread propaganda and algorithms that quickly censor the flow of unwanted information, allow those in power to easily assault the minds of the masses. What is more, the addictive nature of these technologies means that many people voluntarily subject themselves to the ruling elite's propaganda with remarkable frequency. So ads, call me fucking crazy.
Beg for it.
I don't like ads, and I be avoiding the ads as much as possible. People think I'm crazy, but I don't fuck with ads, y'all. I don't fuck with them. And that's what they're talking about right here. It's like you're addicted to these technologies and you voluntarily subject yourself to their propaganda. What the hell do y'all think those ads are, bro? What do you think they are, bro? Do you really think that you can resist them? They know you think you can resist them. That's part of the system.
Look, break the word down. Adverse tease. To your mental. Advertisement is an adverse tease to your mental.
Yeah. So it said, well, make the comments about that. It says, what is more, the addictive nature of these technologies means that many people voluntarily subject themselves to the ruling elite's propaganda with a remarkable frequency. And the frequency is a thing because you keep on going back, and then you like, oh, it doesn't affect me. You know, you done seen this 10, 20, 30, 100, 200 times. You think it doesn't affect you? Why do you think you be buying them random ass shit off of social media, off of fucking Amazon? Why do you think you randomly be showing up at some restaurant or food place that you've never even been before? You know, all of this stuff. Why are y'all all doing the same stuff?
I ain't gonna lie, I got an addiction to Amazon, but it's not usually because of advertisement. Sometimes maybe, but
it got all of us. Nobody is exempt from this. Whenever I'm talking this stuff, I'm including myself.
Yeah,
we're not exempt. It's we have to live within this society with everybody else. We see the same TikToks. We see the same damn Fox News shows or MSNBC, CNN, and even though we avoid that shit, it still comes down our timeline. We
Yeah,
can't
so
completely avoid it.
because I'm gonna tell you, like, like I do my best, like, like I go through half the day, like it might not be until 2 or 3 o'clock in the day before I look at any social media, like, and you like that. It's become a habit now. Like, I'm getting down the road 200-300 miles down the road, however many miles down the road, and on my 30-minute break, I might take a little look and see what's going on, what people do in the world, or whatever. But I think we all gotta make some kind of, like, you can't allow it to, because look, I'm gonna tell you, it used to be so bad to where before I lift my head off the pillow, waking up in the morning, I'm grabbing my phone to see what, oh, did anybody say something? Did somebody post something? You know what I'm saying? Some stupid shit. Like, I was like, it was like I said, it's an addiction. Like, but if you don't do something to try to control it, because honestly, like, I probably shouldn't even. Well, no, I enjoy social media, or whatever, but at the same time, you can't let it run you. You know what I'm saying? That's the real moral of the story. There, it's like you can't let that DMT or whatever, that rush that you get for watching it, to control your life.
And these same people look down on people who they smoke cigarettes or they smoke weed or maybe they drink or watch porn or whatever. I'm not saying none of these things are good, but what I'm saying is that these same people who are addicted to Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, Twitch, whatever the hell, Instagram, those same people look down on those other people with addictions, and they're not aware of their own addictions and how
Well,
detrimental it is to them.
but that's the insanity we talked about. I mean, there's a lot of people that have some form, like, I don't know anybody that I have not, come across, that doesn't have something about them. Like, nobody is, like, untalkable. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's got their own thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, a problem that they're dealing with, or that maybe not even dealing with, you know what I'm saying, but that they have. And a lot of times they are willing to, or, feel they're in a position to be able to talk about other people and their downfalls.
And none of us should be doing that. Like, sweep around your own front door. We all got something that we can improve about ourselves. The moment we start focusing on that other person and what they need to improve on, that's less time we're focusing on our own self and how we can make ourselves better. This next line is good too. It says, modern technology, explains Mirlo, teaches man to take for granted the world he is looking at. He takes no time to retreat and reflect. So it says, it teaches man to take for granted the world he is looking at, and he takes no time to retreat and reflect. So it's like that's what we do, right? What's real and true is not good enough because we're so addicted to this fake shit, that's perfect. And that's why these women want the perfect bodies, and the men, everybody wants the perfect body, perfect teeth. You know what I'm saying? Perfect hair, because they want to look like this fake ass image. They don't, and we're disdained for reality. A real girl's butt with cellulite in it, is a problem.
It's a certain level of laziness. Instead of working for it, it's so easy to have these, transformations, trans being the, I guess, the key word. Because, I mean, we've dealing with people changing their body parts, got their butt lifts, because it started with breasts, then the butts, then, like, able to get your six-pack stomach, and like all this stuff that, okay, it looks good, but guess what? They still got bad health. They didn't go through the process where it really, you know, they strengthen their body, their mind, their spirit. You know, like they didn't do all of the stuff that was necessary for you to really grow at the core. You know, surgeries. You know, somebody cut on you in a few hours. You know, you come out. Yeah, there's the healing time and whatever. All they know is they can't wait to get out so they can show off, you know, how they look, but you still didn't grow.
And you make these same videos over and over on Instagram of you doing the same thing every day.
Yeah,
Let me
you act
read.
like people really care. Like, oh my God, like I ain't gonna say no names, but like all like 10 poses or 10 different posts a day with the same, you know, kind of shit you posted yesterday. It's like, oh my God, like, is there a day I'm not gonna see you on here with this bullshit?
Let me read some more. It says, modern technology teaches man to take for granted the world he's looking at. He takes no time to retreat and reflect. Technology lures him on, dropping him into the wheels and movements. No rest, no meditation, no reflection, no conversation. The senses are continually overloaded with stimuli. I think that's it right there. It says, man doesn't learn to question his world anymore. The screen offers him answers ready made, the rape of the mind. But there is a further step the would-be totalitarian rulers could take to increase the chance of totalitarian psychosis, and this is to isolate the victims and to disrupt normal social interactions. Ooh. It says, let me read that again. It says, but there is a further step that would be totalitarian rulers can take to increase the chance of totalitarian psychosis. And this is to isolate the victims and to disrupt normal social interactions. So that's kind of like with the Matrix, and you know how like Mr. Smith jumps in, like, so you're talking to somebody and you're having a regular conversation, and then you say something that's too truthful or too profound or too reflective, and jumps in Mr. Smith. You know what I'm saying? And it just kills the conversation because that person becomes defensive and angry and combative because they don't want to have that conversation. And then they don't have no control of themselves. They can't even control it. Like they don't even mean to. It's like a tick. It's like the brain just clicks and they just react and they just
It's almost like we got a bunch of sleeper cells. You remember when they was talking about all the sleeper cells that they had in
Yeah.
some of these different countries, and bro, like some people do like, and it's almost like they hear a certain word like it's that might activate them. I mean, you know what I'm saying, or maybe just truth. Just hearing, it's like, wait a minute, that sounded like some real truth. Let me get in here, disrupt it. Let me, you know.
Look at this is Curtis's comment. He says, I had a kid throw back real lemonade for some fake lemonade. And he said, and then they don't know what's wrong with their life. And that's so fucking good, Curtis, because like a lot of people, if you did bring somebody real orange juice, the place where I work at now, we use fresh squeezed. Everything is fresh there. So like if you order something that has orange juice in it or whatever, or if you order an orange juice, even for a kid, the kid orders the orange juice. This is fresh squeezed orange juice. So it's kind of brown. It's kind of ugly. You know what I'm saying? It's going to have some pulp in it.
That's the way I want mine.
A lot of people do not like that. They send it back. It's not that sweet. It's not sweet enough. You know what I'm saying?
Because I'll make juice. I should make my own juice at the house. So, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather have picked out my own fruit and shit. I ain't gonna lie, man. I wish I had my own orchard so I can walk out and pick out my own fruit in the morning. What I'm gonna put together for my juice or my smoothie or whatever. Shit. A lot of people, yeah, that's like
that's insane. That is what they have done to us. We're so used to this freaking fake shit that we don't even want the real shit. We don't even want it. We prefer the fake.
That's insane.
And then they want like, why are we messing up their nightmare?
Yeah. Well, just keep going to the store and buying your fake ass orange juice.
Because that's really what it is. Like you're having a nightmare. Like you're acting as if it's a dream. Like you're in the middle of a great dream, but you're in the middle of a nightmare and you're enjoying it. If that's not insane, I don't know what is.
It says, let me read the last part again because it was really good. There's a further step to would-be totalitarian rulers can take to increase the chance of totalitarian psychosis, and this is to isolate the victims and to disrupt normal social interactions. When alone and lacking normal interactions with friends, family, and co-workers, an individual becomes far more susceptible to delusions for several reasons. It says, firstly, they lose contact with the corrective force of the positive example. If not everyone is tricked by the machinations of the ruling elite, and the individuals who see through the propaganda can help free others from the menticidal assault. If, however, isolation is enforced, the power of these positive examples greatly diminish. Let me pause there. So what happened during the pandemic when they had all of us freaking, in quarantine, I don't know. Was that a way to keep people from sharing ideas and thinking about stuff and planning to do stuff or whatever? Learning shit? I wonder. If, however, isolation is enforced, the power of these positive examples greatly diminished. But another reason that isolation increases the efficacy of menticide is because, like many other species, human beings are more easily conditioned into new patterns of thought and behavior when isolated. Or, as Mueller explains, with regards to the psychologist Ivan Pavlov's work on behavioral conditioning, Pavlov made another significant discovery. The conditioned reflex could be developed most early in a quiet. Hold on, bro. Pavlov made another significant discovery. The conditioned reflex could be developed most easily in a quiet laboratory with a minimum of disturbing stimuli. Every trainer of animals knows this from his own experience. Isolation and the patient repetition of stimuli are required to tame wild animals. Oh shit, what happened? I lost my spot, y'all. I know I was over halfway. Sorry, y'all. Those who think straight, hold on. Never before in history, I read all of that. Shit. Uh-oh. Let me see. Y'all, give me a second. Menticide. I think it's right here. Let me go back a bit. Oh, yeah, because he's on the answers. I went too far. Oh, here we go. Every trainer of animals knows this from his own experience. Isolation and the patient repetition of stimuli are required to tame wild animals. The totalitarians have followed this rule. They know that they can condition their political victims most quickly if they are kept in isolation. The rape of the mind. Alone, confused, and battered by waves of terror, a population under an attack of menticide descends into a helpless and vulnerable state. The never-ending stream of propaganda turns minds once capable of rational thought into playhouses of irrational forces, and with chaos swirling around them and within them. The masses crave a return to a more ordered world. The would-be totalitarians can now take the decisive step. They can offer a way out and return to order in a world that seems to be moving rapidly in the opposite direction. But all this comes at a price. The masses must give up their freedoms and cede control of all aspects of life to the ruling elite for their own lives and become submissive and obedient subjects. The masses, in other words, must descend into the delusions of the totalitarian psychosis. Totalitarian systems of the 20th century represent a kind of collective psychosis, writes the medical doctor Joost Meerlo. Whether gradually or suddenly, reason and common human decency are no longer possible in such a system. There is only a pervasive atmosphere of terror and a projection of the enemy imagined to be in our midst. Thus, society turns on itself, urged on by the ruling authorities. By the order of the totalitarian world is a pathological order. By enforcing a strict conformity and requiring a blind obedience from the citizenry, totalitarianism rids the world of the spontaneity that produces many of life's joys and the creativity that drives society forward. The total control of this form of rule, no matter under what name it's branded, and be it ruled by scientists and doctors, politicians and bureaucrats, or a dictator, breeds stagnation, destruction, and death on a mass scale. And so perhaps the most important question facing the world is how can totalitarianism be prevented? And if a society has been induced into the early stages of this mass psychosis, can the effects be reversed? While one can never be sure of the prognosis of a collective madness, there are steps that can be taken to help effectuate a cure. This task, however, necessitates many different approaches from many different people. For just as the menticidal attack is multi-pronged, so too must be the counterattack, according to Carl Jung. For those of us who wish to help return sanity to an insane world, the first step is to bring order to our own minds and to live in a way that provides inspiration for others to follow. It's not for nothing that our age cries out for the Redeemer personality, for the one who can emancipate himself from the grip of the collective psychosis and save at least his own soul, who lights a beacon of hope for others, proclaiming that there is at least one man who has succeeded in extricating himself from the fatal identity with the group psyche. But assuming one is living in a manner free of the grip of psychosis, there are further steps that can be taken. Firstly, information that counters the propaganda should be spread as far and as wide as possible, for the truth is more powerful than the fiction and falsities peddled by the would-be totalitarian rulers, and so their success is part contingent on their ability to censor the free flow of information. Another tactic is to use humor and ridicule to delegitimize the ruling elite, as Mirlo explains. We must learn to treat the demagogue and aspirant dictators in our midst with the weapon of ridicule. The demagogue himself is almost incapable of humor of any sort, and if we treat him with humor, he will begin to collapse. A tactic recommended by Václav Havel, a political dissident under Soviet communist rule who later became president of Czechoslovakia, is the construction of what are called parallel structures. A parallel structure is any form of organization, business, institution, technology, or creative pursuit that exists physically within a totalitarian society, yet morally outside of it. In communist Czechoslovakia, Havel noted that these parallel structures are more effective at combating totalitarianism than political action. Furthermore, when enough parallel structures are created, a second culture, a parallel society, spontaneously forms and functions as an enclave of freedom and sanity within a totalitarian world. As Havel explained in his book, The Power of the Powerless, what else are parallel structures than an area where a different life can be lived, a life that is in harmony with its own aims and which in turn structures itself in harmony with those aims? What else are those initial attempts at social self-organizing than the effort of a certain part of society to rid itself of self-sustaining aspects of totalitarianism and thus to extricate itself radically from its involvement in the totalitarian system? But above all else, what is required to prevent a full descent into madness of totalitarianism is action by as many people but instead He said, to people as possible. But just as the ruling elite do not sit around passively, but instead take deliberate steps to increase their power, so too an active, concerted effort must be made to move the world back in the direction of freedom. This can be an immense challenge in a world falling prey to the delusions of totalitarianism. But as Thomas Paine noted, tyranny like hell is not easily conquered. Yet we have the consolation with us that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. Is that it? I know my voice is tired. I hope y'all appreciated that. Give me some money. Cash App King Chaka ENT.
Yeah,
What do you say?
Tired. I'm just tired. I'm not just. Whew, it's the time.
Yeah, it's 1 a.m. It's all good. We're 2.5 hours. You want to check out?
Yeah, man. I've already kind of checked out a couple times and
it's all good.
Check back in, but
it's all good,
yeah,
man. I appreciate your time.
Always, for sure, man. I'll be back in. When is Deuce coming back or from vacation?
Shit, he said he had a whole 10 days, and he started on Friday or Saturday.
I think Saturday or Sunday, something like that.
So that means he's not back until Monday, probably. This coming Monday.
He probably hit me up.
I'm sure he's enjoying time with the family. I wish I could go on a 10-day vacation.
Well, yeah, that's why I didn't even, try to, call him because, I know he with the fam.
Yeah. That dude is blessed. He got he's got his wife, all his kids together in the same house. That's a blessed man.
Oh, yeah. Most def.
All right, man. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
All right, man. I'm going to keep it going for y'all because I ain't ready to end this. We're at 2.5 hours. I really want to read the comments underneath that video, but I need to take a quick potty break. Do I have something? I'm going to just play this Democracy Now! Because I need to take a quick break, and I'll be right back.
I'm Amy Goodman. Temperatures in Britain topped 104 degrees Fahrenheit for the first time ever Tuesday as a climate change-fueled heat wave scorched much of Europe. The BBC reports the London Fire Brigade had its busiest day since World War II as fires broke out across London in the record heat. At one point, firefighters battling 12 blazes simultaneously. Major wildfires in England, France, Germany, Portugal and Spain have burned thousands of acres in recent days. In Portugal, authorities say the heat wave has killed at least 1,000 people. Hundreds more have died in Spain. On Tuesday, the head of the World Meteorological Organization warned the climate crisis will only intensify extreme heat waves.
In the future, these kind of heat waves are going to be normal. And we will see even stronger extremes. We have already pumped so much carbon dioxide to the atmosphere that the negative trend will continue for the coming decades. And so far, we haven't been able to reduce our emissions globally.
Here in the United States, President Biden's traveling to Massachusetts today to give a major address on the climate crisis. Climate activists have been pushing Biden to declare a national climate emergency. But the Associated Press said the president will not take that step today, which would have granted him additional powers to address the crisis. Biden will be speaking in the Massachusetts town of Somerset at a former coal plant that's being turned into a wind energy plant. Voters went to the polls Tuesday for a primary election in Maryland. The Trump-backed far-right state legislator Dan Cox won the Republican gubernatorial primary. Last year, Cox helped organize buses to Washington on January 6 when he called Vice President Mike Pence a traitor for not supporting Trump's efforts to overturn the election. If elected governor, Cox has vowed to conduct a forensic audit of the 2020 election. He also wants to ban abortion throughout Maryland and end what he describes sexual indoctrination in schools. The Democratic Governors Association spent over $1 million helping elevate Cox's message as part of an effort to help the primary campaigns of far-right candidates that Democrats hope will be more vulnerable in the November general election. The Democratic gubernatorial primary remains too close to call. In another closely watched race in Maryland, the corporate attorney Glenn Ivey has defeated former Congressmember Donna Edwards in the Democratic primary for an open seat in Maryland's 4th Congressional District. A new super PAC run by AIPAC, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, spent nearly $6 million on the race to defeat Edwards. Ivey outspent Edwards 7-1. To see our segment on that race, go to democracynow.org. CNN is reporting the U.S. Secret Service has only provided a single text exchange to the House January 6th Committee and the Department of Homeland Security Inspector General after requests for the agency to hand over all text messages from 24 individuals around the time of the January 6th insurrection. The Secret Service is claiming all the messages have been purged. The DHS Inspector General said in a letter to lawmakers last week, the erasure took place after oversight officials requested electronic communications from the agency be preserved. Meanwhile, prosecutors in Georgia have revealed they may bring criminal charges against 16 Republicans who acted as fake electors as part of Donald Trump's effort to overturn the 2020 election. While Joe Biden won more votes in Georgia, the fake electors submitted false certifications to the National Archives claiming Trump had won the state. Similar efforts were done in 6 other states where Trump lost: Arizona, Michigan, Nevada, New Mexico, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Republicans facing possible prosecution in Georgia include State Senator Burt Jones, who is Governor Brian Kemp's running mate for lieutenant governor, and David Schaefer, the chair of the Georgia Republican Party. In news from Capitol Hill, the House has passed a bill to protect the right to same-sex and interracial marriage. Every Democrat and 47 Republicans supported the Respect for Marriage Act. It remains uncertain if Democrats have enough votes to pass the legislation in the Senate. The House vote comes as concern is growing that the Supreme Court will move to overturn its 2015 decision legalizing same-sex marriage across the country. On Saturday, Republican Senator Ted Cruz of Texas said the Supreme Court was clearly wrong when it legalized same-sex marriage. On Tuesday, 17 Democratic lawmakers were arrested outside the Supreme Court while protesting the court's recent decision overturning Roe v. Wade. Among those arrested were Congress members Cori Bush of Missouri, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York, Ayanna Pressley of Massachusetts, Ilhan Omar of Minnesota, and Assistant House Speaker Katherine Clark of Massachusetts. In a statement, Clark said, quote, "The extremist Republican Party is determined to take us back in time and take away our rights. I refuse to stand on the sidelines as their rampage continues," she said. In Indiana, the doctor who recently provided abortion care to a 10-year-old rape survivor from Ohio is moving to sue Indiana's Republican Attorney General Todd Rokita for defamation. Last week, Rokita appeared on Fox News and falsely accused the doctor, Caitlin Bernard, of having a, quote, history of failing to report abortions to the state. The lawsuit alleges Rokita made the false statement as part of an effort to, quote, heighten public condemnation of Dr. Bernard, who legally provided legitimate medical care, unquote. Sri Lankan lawmakers have voted to elect former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe as president, following last week's resignation of the Sri Lankan president Gotabaya Rajapaksa after mass protests rocked Sri Lanka. Wickremesinghe is a 6-time former prime minister who is a close ally with the former president. Protesters decried his selection as Sri Lanka's new leader.
I think it's a sad day, though. It's a sad day, not just for the people of this country, but for whole of the world, I guess, because it seems that the entire world is sort of accepting this most unethical manner of leadership, because this is someone who did not win an election. He's someone who was rejected by the people's mandate, and then such a how ethical is it for someone like him, let alone lead a government, lead a country, be the head of a state?
Pakistan's ruling coalition has rejected calls for early national elections by former Prime Minister Imran Khan, following an election in Pakistan's most populous state, where members of Khan's party won 15 of 20 seats up for grabs. Khan was ousted from power in April in what he described as a form of U.S.-backed regime change. Supporters of Khan say the election results show he remains Pakistan's most popular leader. Russian President Vladimir Putin traveled to Iran Tuesday to meet the leaders of Iran and Turkey. It was Putin's first trip to a country outside the former Soviet Union since the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, backed Russia's actions in Ukraine. He told Putin, quote, "If you had not taken the helm, the other side would have done so and initiated a war," unquote. Russia and Iran also discussed a proposed $40 billion deal for Russia to help develop gas and oil fields in Iran. The U.S. launched airstrikes in southern Somalia Saturday. The U.S. military claims the strikes killed 2 members of the militant group al-Shabaab. The U.S. justified the attack, saying it was done, quote, in defense of designated partner forces. In May, President Biden approved a Pentagon plan to redeploy up to 500 U.S. troops to Somalia. The move reversed a withdrawal ordered by then-President Trump during his final days in office. A warning to our audience: this headline includes graphic video of police violence. In San Bernardino, California, the family of a black man shot dead by police is calling for charges to be filed against.
I hope they was gonna play the video. Y'all know I don't do that. The cops pulled up. The guy was just randomly walking around in the parking lot. Cops pulled up in an unmarked car, hopped out. He saw them. He started running. They popped him in the back. Now, he did run in between some cars. They didn't know if he was armed or not. He could have been getting between the cars to lay fire on them. And that could have been what they was thinking, but it was still stupid, because, like, the guy, what crime did he commit? First off, why were they even approaching him in that manner? So, and then the guy runs away, and then you pop him in the back. Anyways, y'all know I don't like to cover that shit, and I apologize, but I had to take a little break, a little potty break, and I had to refresh up my tea. That's ginger. It's just pure ginger. That's it. I love fucking ginger, like, a lot. Turmeric, ginger. Pretty much what I drink usually. That's what I'm drinking on the show. And that's why I had to freshen up the tea, because I did a lot of talking and my voice starts, my throat. So the tea helps me keep going. I can keep doing more. So I want to go back to the comments underneath that video that we played. The mass psychosis video. So I kind of want to read some of the comments. Please don't play. Okay. Some of the comments underneath it, because I started reading the comments underneath it before I played the video, and I want to read. Oh damn, pressing too many buttons. I done fucked up. Can y'all let me see something? Okay, I'm good. I just got an extra ass screen open now. Let me look at the comments. Oh shit, that looks good. It says, I never thought I would witness this unfold in my lifetime, and to be honest, I was almost one of those just blindly following orders. Glad I stuck to my principles, even though I did waver a few times. And you get punished for sticking to your principles in this society. Shit. Use my life as an example. Let me read some more. It says, I'm reminded of a reoccurring nightmare as a child. In this dream, everyone I knew and cared about became zombies. They aggressively hunted me down, trying to turn me. For a moment, I asked myself, what's the point in resisting? Watching the mindless beast, I came to the conclusion I would rather be dead than live as a zombie. Whew. This person isn't talking about a movie, a zombie movie. That's all I'm going to say. Let me read some more. It says, it's sad when you can clearly see it happening all around you and you can't do anything about it, especially when you see people you know and love giving into it. Ugh. Just like the last, that's very similar to the last comment. Let me read some more. It says, this was an incredible video. I've been saying for the past 6 years that I think we're living through a mass psychosis. And even though I have some background and my dad was a psychiatrist, I always wonder what were the causes and the parallels for what we're experiencing these times. I wish all the time that my dad was still alive to help me diagnose it. I truly think that this video hit the nail right on the head. You're 100% correct. This is an important message. We're living through difficult but very important times that will dictate the future of this country. Great job. Thank you. Another comment. I became addicted to my phone during the pandemic, largely because of TikTok. I fell into a deep depression and I felt like I was going insane. It was beginning to interfere with my life and standing in the way of my progress. I deleted all my social media a year and a half later, and now I feel very sane and happy. I began exercising, I quit drinking, ate healthy, socializing became easier. My entire life began to change simply by getting off my phone and getting outside. I fear for our youth because they have been conditioned from birth to use smart technology. They are far less likely to break free as I did. The scariest part is imagining what these kids will be like as adults. They may be completely detached from reality, unable to socialize, extremely anxious, scared, confused, unable to deal with life. At some point, I don't know if completely unplugging is necessarily the answer, but for whoever's listening or watching, just unplugging sometime has to have its benefits, right? All things in moderation. Go outside, go take a walk, stop watching TV so much, watch a little less TV. Get off your phone just a little less, like make rules for yourself. If you're at dinner or whatever, it's your lunch break or whatever, go walk in the park instead of scrolling on your phone. Sometimes it's like hard to escape it, right? You go to the bathroom, you're taking a little short break. What the hell else you gonna do? Scroll on your phone, whatever. But when you have more time, take a walk. Go look at the animals. Go look at the park. Go socialize with some people. Without taking pictures of your food and taking pictures of yourself trying to appear to be happy for all your fake ass social media followers. Don't take pictures of everything. Just enjoy the damn moment. How the hell are you going to enjoy the moment if you're always taking a damn picture? Another comment, it says, this vid is amazing and so true. I shared it on Facebook and tagged some of my friends and found me to watch it. I asked them a few days later, if they watched it. None had. Not even my husband would take the time to watch it. I feel like I'm living in the land of zombies said. Oh my fucking God. And that's what I do. Whenever somebody brings up a comment about something and I'll be like, hey, that's not really true, da-da-da-da-da. They're like, whatever. I didn't know. Da-da-da. I'll be like, okay, well, later I'm going to send you a video. Please watch it. I send them a video. I ask them if they watch it. No, they didn't watch it. They might say they watched it. They didn't watch it. Because you ask them comments or you ask them about the video, they can't talk about it because they didn't watch it. The reason why they didn't watch it because they knew that the video was going to dispel their beliefs and the cognitive dissonance that they have in their mind. They just don't want nothing to it's blasphemous. Don't talk bad about something that I already believe in, or don't tell me that something I already believe in is not true. And I don't want to hear no facts about it. Period. Fucking zombie, fucking robot. This is incredible video, powerful. It describes everything currently going on. And it is this time and period where mental games are being played at full power. The people are being mentally abused and abused into believing the narcissist's power. I catch myself questioning myself sometimes, but then I realize this is all just one big ugly mind game. And that's the reason why I protect my sanity so much. And that's what makes people think I'm so weird, as far as me not wanting to watch ads and me caring about people telling the truth, because the lies is where the confusions is. I don't want to go down this road of confusion and delusion with you. So tell the damn truth. The lies is confusion. I don't want that in my mind, and that's taking me away from my sanity. It's, and I protect my sanity. I protect what I consume. It's what you eat is not the only things you consume. Those ads is something that you're consuming. Talking to somebody who's lying to you all the time is something that you're consuming. It's affecting you. Your body is taking it on and absorbing it. Call me fucking crazy. Let me read some more. It says, used to teach at-risk high school students, not SPD, but socially disturbed youth, and I guess that's special ed. And these videos would have been wonderful lessons in conjunction with art therapy, with music also playing. Geez, we could have saved so many from the drug pits. My last year teaching CC English overseas, I did lessons like this. Drawing fast with a marker to illustrate words and sentences, and the students' response was outstanding. The flowing sketch art lifted them out of their seats in constant contribution. Hope you can get all these video lessons into both public schools and private homeschools. The artwork is like Dr. Seuss. Yeah, these videos are very, very, very well made, very well researched, and very well written. Some of the words the dude was using words I hadn't seen before, and I've seen a lot of words. Let me read some more. It says, in school during 1970s, we learned about World War II, and I used to think, how did the whole world lose its mind? Now I see, like other people have commented, it's happening right before our eyes. Can't tell you how much I needed this video after seeing so much corruption and so many events in areas of society over my lifetime, and being labeled a mentally ill conspiracy theorist for stating documented facts. It's vital to know that I'm the same one and they're the ones that are crazy. Even though it's a bunch of them. So that's what makes you feel some kind of way, because you're in a group, you're in a building, it's 300 people in the building, it's 2, 3, 4 of y'all that probably don't agree with the craziness, insanity. The 3, 4 of y'all probably don't even know each other or thinking that way, because y'all ain't never had a conversation because y'all separated. Maybe y'all in different departments. One guy's a janitor, one guy's a supervisor, the other one's a whatever. And it's like y'all don't ever really talk, so y'all don't even know. But then the rest of the people are just spouting out this insanity, and you just feel like you're completely alone. And it's like, it must be me. I'm crazy because everybody else thinks they don't see what I see, so I must be crazy. It says, it's not enough to just watch this video. You absolutely need to share this and try to reach as many people as possible. Another one, it says, I watched a friend of over 15 years standing sleepwalking into an abject narcissism because of his obsession with social media and his desperate need to be liked. He developed a controlling influence in his psychosis. I haven't been in contact with him for nearly 3 years now, and I feel so much better for it. Excellent work by all concerned. I'm going to read some more because they're starting to get repetitive. I was shocked when they started talking about waves and isolation being key. Describes exactly what is being done to us now. That's what I said. This was the most educational and informative video I've watched in a while and explains a lot about why the masses are not waking up. This describes perfectly what is and has been happening in our world. This is okay, that's enough. So the video, the name of it was Mass Psychosis, How an Entire Population Becomes Mentally Ill by After School. It was posted August 3rd, 2021. So y'all go check it out. Let me see. I'm curious about something I saw. Let me see. I don't remember where I saw it.
they so focused on trying to be perfect in the beginning. They so focused on pulling you that when they got you, they don't know how to handle you, and it's confusing. You know what I'm saying? And then once they lose you, they try to say that you never cared about them and you never wanted them. But a lot of people don't know how to be with somebody. All they know how to do is be good in the beginning. They don't know how to work on the consistency part. They don't know how to stay entertaining the person that they like. They don't know how to keep liking the person that they like. They think that they're supposed to like them in the beginning, and that person's supposed to be trying to pull them all throughout the whole end of the relationship. I feel like a lot of people, they only care about having sex with you. They only care about getting into you. They feel like it's a mission to pull you. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of y'all don't get the opportunity to actually get to know somebody. Because once they pull you, they don't really want you no more. They don't really care about what you know, what you want to do with your life, who you are. Because you done made your appearance so perfect that they only get to compliment you on your appearance. But they don't understand that everybody compliments you on your appearance. Everybody come at you, wanting you. And they feel like once they got you that you're not a prize no more. It's like they forget that everybody still wants you. Everybody still like you. Everybody still wants your attention. It's something about men that they don't understand rarity. Because when they pull it, they start to think it's not rare because they got it. They don't understand taking care of what's theirs. They don't understand loving what's theirs. They don't understand complimenting what's theirs, acknowledging what's theirs, letting the person know that they are appreciated, letting the person know that they are happy because they with them, letting the person know that they fuck with them, you know? So when they get left, they start to question everything that went wrong without even realizing they was perfect in the beginning. But after they got insecure. They let their pride and their ego get to them. They started acting like they didn't like them no more. And when the person finally left them, it was too late to fix the problem.
Okay, well, what I'll say about that is there is some truth in there, you know. So, but what I'll say about this is that it kind of goes along with what we were talking about earlier, how what gets promoted on the internet and what doesn't. So, the stuff that men do wrong in relationships, they're the ones that's causing all of the problems in the relationships. That's what gets promoted on social media. Tell me I'm fucking lying. How much does the stuff that women do wrong get promoted on social media? And it goes along with what I was saying about the media and the chicks, Cardi B and all of that, telling the girls to be all crazy and to be thoughts and all of this, because that's what makes money. That's what, that's what's getting propagandized. The part about the chick and her growing, you could turn everything that he said around on the females too. So that's the thing. What I'm saying, I'm not saying that what this guy is saying is not true, but you could say the exact same thing about women too. So, but then this is focusing on men and saying that they're the problem. So what did you do wrong? What did you do wrong in the relationship? Did you not do anything wrong? It was all the men, right? I don't remember, man. I saw some shit, but I just can't remember where I saw that shit at. That's why I'm fucking just randomly searching. What the hell? Was it this? I saw this. You big man. No, that wasn't it. I have some shit. Where is it? Hold on, y'all. I have some short clips. Did I play them earlier? Yeah, man. Fucking insane, bruh. Fucking insane. Don't nobody want to do no self-reflection on shit. They don't want to look at themselves and see what they did wrong. They want to blame someone else. It was someone else's fault. Everything was someone else's fault. And, if it wasn't, then it was God. And so that means it's all the way out of my control. I don't have to do no improvements. It's the other ones that got to do improvements. I don't have to do no self-reflections because the other person needs to do that. I don't have to put forth no effort. I shouldn't have to. Where is it? I played that. Let me see. Did I play this?
We love God whom we cannot see. And he has given us this command. Those who love God must also love their fellow believers. Read the Bible with me. 1 John chapter 4, verses 20 through 21 say that if someone says, I love God, but hates a fellow believer, that person is a liar. For if we don't love people we can see, how can we love God whom we cannot see? And
I like this. The only thing I don't like about it is the part where they say my fellow believer, because how do you know that that person's a believer or not? And why you're supposed to love the person who is a believer. So what about the people who are not? You're not supposed to love them? I have a problem with that. But other than that I would agree with this. Let me play it one more time.
He has given us this command. Those who love God must also love their fellow believers. Read the Bible with me. 1 John chapter 4, verses 20 through 21 say that if someone says, I love God, but hates a fellow believer, that person is a liar. For if we don't love people we can see, how can we love God whom we cannot see?
I really think it's really important, because you are loving God when you're loving humans, other humans, nature, the earth, the trees, the birds, everything that exists is always created by God. So you are disrespecting God. You're not loving God whenever you are disrespecting God's creation. This is all a part of the universe. We're all a part of this ecosystem. We're no greater than any other animal or insect or tree or fungus that lives on this planet. So get that out of your damn head and think differently. We're part of a whole. We're not greater. Therefore, we love all God's creatures. Why am I getting a mail from... Why is my emails popping on my screen right now? So weird. I swear I be feeling like they watching me, and it's like I just randomly get internet emails. Like it's 1:31 in the morning. Why am I getting emails right now? That's distracting. Like I can't think straight now. It just throw me off. I started watching that show. If I play that, I'll probably get in trouble. That's some really good stuff. I wonder if they have comments underneath this. Hold on, let me see. Let's see. Let me read the caption underneath. Yeah, y'all know I don't watch much TV or stuff like that. I'm YouTube and Instagram all day and books. But somebody at work suggested this to me and I got into it. It's pretty cool. I don't think I could play it, but let me read the caption here. It's a little show that kind of got me. It says, this is an edit of Naoki Urasawa's phenomenal story, Monster. It is for some reason extremely hard to find this anime, let alone in HD. So I edit together all of the episodes into 3 parts with all of the intros and outros edited out. This anime is too damn amazing for it to be lost. It's really amazing. It's got me in it already. I love the story. I love what they're talking about. It's exactly pretty much the same thing I'm talking about all the time. And they got it in this show. And it's like the whole human condition and what's happening. Like, I wish I could explain it. I wonder if they got some I wonder if they got any comments that will explain it. Somebody's complaining about the fuck. I hate people that complain about shit. Like, you be thankful that they fucking put this shit on here, bro. You complain that they didn't do it good enough. There's a part of it that don't. Let me get out of here. I done got upset. They done gave you a whole ass gift, and you asked them. You are complaining about some little part of it that's messed up. Like the dude went through all kinds of drama and to put this up there for y'all to enjoy, and y'all complaining about one little part of it that's messed up. God, y'all don't appreciate nothing. Oh shit. Let me get out of here. Am I sharing this? I hope I'm not sharing this. Oh, I'm not. Okay, good. I was scrolling Twitter. How to pump blood to the brain, life-saving technique. I would play that, but oh yeah, people were talking about this. Let me share this. I don't think it's a real story, but it's been going around. I mean, it really happened, but what I mean is it's not a story. It's like,
Goodness, something's just blown out.
Folks, get your video on that. There's just been an incident here.
My goodness, something's just blown out.
We're going to be leaving now, so we don't get trapped in there.
Something has just blown out.
Yeah. Folks, get your video on that. There's just been an incident here.
My goodness, something's just blown out.
We're going to be leaving now, so we don't get trapped in there.
Something has just blown out.
it says an explosion occurred at the Hoover Dam yesterday. The cause is unknown.
Something's just blown out.
I think I saw the thing about the cause. I think they said it was I can't remember. It's something like regular. It's not like a person blew it up. But that's what makes you think that it's that. You think it's that something that somebody blew it up or something. Because automatically when they say an explosion and a fire at the dam, you automatically start thinking about terrorism and shit. And that's what I was thinking. So that's the reason why I kind of looked at it a little bit. And it's like nothing. So it's like a whole big nothing burger. Like that's all the fucking news is. Big nothing burgers. And then people sharing stuff like this. I don't know if y'all saw this because this is viral as hell right now. It says, imagine driving home from work and seeing this on the freeway. Welcome to Houston. So apparently the traffic was moving slow and these chicks decided to get out of the car and start twerking on top of it. So yeah, that's a thing that people do now, I guess. I guess that's a thing now. I want to keep flipping back because I don't want this shit to show something that I can't fucking show. What is this? China. It says this is because the Henan branch of Bank of China declared the people's savings in the branch are now investment products and can't be withdrawn. What? That sounds like freaking Handmaid's Tale. Hold on, let me share this to y'all. Can I? Yeah, hold on. Can't really see much in the video, but there's tanks and shit right there on the street. And it says tanks are being put, hold on, let me read it. Tanks are being put on the street in China to protect the banks. This is because the Henan branch of the Bank of China declaring that people's savings in their branch are now investment products and can't be withdrawn. So you can't withdraw your freaking savings in there out of that bank? So they put a tanks in front. So like if y'all come talking about, yeah, I want my money, they're gonna be like, okay, did you see that tank up front? Yeah, it has bullets in it. Yeah, those bullets will tear apart your, I don't know, your house or whatever. Like, go home. Go home. We're going to just invest that money and flip it. Oh, man, is it crazy. It says, but why would I need a gun in South Africa? Oh, man, this dude looks like he's going through it. Let me share this. In a second, y'all. This is not very efficient. I'm going to try to find a different way to do this. It says, but why would I need a gun in South Africa is the caption. And I don't know. This guy's having some trouble here. We don't know what happened before the video. Guy has something in his hand, maybe a knife. But it looks like he's the one that's being attacked by people. It's like they're trying to get in his car or steal his car or something.
Fuck.
But he had that knife or whatever and
Let
brandished
the
it.
fucking guys never cease to fucking. What the hell? Oh my gosh,
I don't know what happened. We can only speculate. He said, "Do I need a gun?" Obviously, he didn't need a gun. The knife or whatever that was he had in his hand worked fine, apparently. The new health chief is taking on TikTok dances.
My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds. I like to see you wiggle wiggle, for sure, and make you wanna dribble dribble. You know, riding in my.
Man, I hate everyone. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. The Department of Justice doesn't prosecute crimes. They more interested in political persecution. The hell? Wait a minute. This is what's her name?
Stolen because these people never get prosecuted. You know, Here we go. We got a new sign back up after the other one was stolen because these people never get prosecuted. You know, the Department of Justice doesn't prosecute crimes. They're more interested in political persecution because that's all they're doing. But yet when someone, Tim Heisem, actually gets arrested for vandalizing posters and getting caught doing it on camera, then someone has to go and take this sign down, ball it up, and try to throw it away in the men's bathroom. So we have a new sign back up because we don't put up with criminals and we want them held accountable.
Really now? She is attractive, ain't gonna lie. I mean, like, I think that's part of her appeal. I think that's a big reason why AOC is so popular. It's all identity politics, even reverse identity politics.
End of quote, repeat the line. 9.1%. End of quote, repeat the line.
I guess people are trying to say other people make the same mistake. They were talking about Joe Biden because he said that, because it's really just a caption that you're not supposed to read when you're reading the teleprompter. But so I guess it happens a lot, right? So, but then they just love to like point little things that Biden does and say that they're all, you know, like he's silly or he's senile or whatever. But some of that stuff is really just, how the hell did this person end up with their, oh, they did it to themselves. Climate activists attached themselves to road in Berlin. Damn, it looks like he got his hand in some concrete or something. Damn. Oh, that's the thing with the tanks. What is this? Anyways, y'all, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna go on this.
Truth is stranger than fiction. I'm the most banned, most demonized media person in the world.
Alex Jones is a fake. He's a performance artist.
Oh, let me get out of there. I think I had something on YouTube still before I go. Let me double check, y'all. I don't know if I covered all of the stuff I wanted to cover today because I have some more stuff for the rest of the week and I don't want to get into that because I want to save it. Let me see. Was it something else? I was stuck on the Prince. Y'all ever saw the Prince of Egypt? I love that cartoon, man. Let my people go. And I don't know, was thinking about this because we were talking about psychosis and stuff. I might go into this later, but tomorrow, but the relation of that related to Pharaoh, let my people go. Anyways, that's what popped into my mind. That's connection. And I was watching some clips from the Prince of Egypt. It's like, you brought this on yourself. Still gnawing on that old bone, are we? That movie is great. The voice acting was great. The animation was great. The story was great. I'm always sensitive to these kind of stories anyways because I grew up super religious. Like, I really like Veggie Tales. Have y'all ever watched any of the Veggie Tales? I love that shit. It's just stories of the Bible animated with, and they're kind of abridged stories of the Bible and softened up stories of the Bible with little vegetables as characters. And it's really good. It's really, really good. I like it. I think if you read all those stories and then you see them animated, like moving around, it does something to you. It does something to me. I think I'm going to wrap it because I'm getting tired. And I can't find what I'm looking for. I don't see it. The profits of inflation. These niggas is raking in the cash on y'all ass. The corporations are reaping in record profits. Can I play this? It's PBS. It's so ridiculous, man. And they're like, it's because of the war in Ukraine or whatever. So, but why are y'all making so many profits then? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not economics major, but if your profits are record and the inflation is record, how come you can't just sell your stuff at lower prices and then you don't have to make so much profit? You can make the same amount of profit you made last year. You don't want to do that? You have to raise the price. The inflation. I have to raise the price. But why is your profit way more than it was? Come on. I'm not stupid.
Inflation, major U.S. corporations are reporting record profits as companies pass rising supply chain costs on to consumers. Economics correspondent Paul Salmon explores whether concentrated market power is contributing to inflation.
Inflation. Everybody's talking about it.
Longtime liberal activist Robert Reich.
Corporations are raising prices even as they rake in record profits.
Prices at the pump have gone up. Why? Well, let me give you a hint.
Senator Elizabeth Warren.
This isn't about inflation. This is about price gouging.
This is a charge that pops up in lots of places, even on my Twitter feed. So, do the facts justify the outrage? Well, you've heard the standard causes of COVID inflation: government stimulus money, a tight labor market driving up wages, clogged supply chains, imports anchored offshore. And now, to top it off, Russia's invasion of Ukraine goosing oil, gas, and wheat prices. But if all this explains an inflation rate that's just reached 10% for businesses, the producer price index, how come profits have risen even more?
Over the past year, companies' net margins have risen to record highs, and net margins are expected to rise again over the next year.
Wall Street Journal reporter Dion Rabowen.
Nearly 100 of the biggest U.S. publicly traded companies booked 2021 profit margins that were at least 50% higher than their 2019 levels.
And 2019 was pre-pandemic. The economy solid, inflation low. So why the profit hike?
The CEO of Kroger recently said,
a little bit of inflation is always good in our business.
Lindsay Owens runs a progressive economic think tank that scours the earnings calls corporations hold for stock analysts and investors, like this one from Constellation Brands, which sells beer, wine, and spirits.
We're going to look at this on a market-by-market basis, brand-by-brand basis, and we'll take as much pricing as we think the consumer can absorb.
One of my favorite examples is Tyson Foods.
Purveyor of 1 out of every 5 pounds of beef, chicken, and pork sold in the U.S. Here's Tyson's chief financial officer on their latest quarterly results.
Our pricing actions led to approximately $2.1 billion in sales and price mix benefit during the quarter, which offset the higher cost of goods sold of $1.6 billion.
In other words, says Owens,
our pricing is taking into account the cost of raw materials and the cost of labor, but more than offsetting it. And that more than offsetting it is that additional profit that they're able to bring in.
But profits sank when COVID hit, say companies like Tyson. This is just making up for lost time. Nothing but an extreme short-term business cycle.
Capitalism requires greed to run.
Economist Noah Smith.
Corporations are always greedy. Their greed dial is always set to absolute maximum. And the idea that ameliorating greed would have any effect on inflation is wrong. And I made fun of it by making the following chart.
Smith, a liberal, mocks the idea that newfound greed explains the inflation surge with a tongue-in-cheek greed index chart.
And I labeled the rises in inflation as rising greed and the drops in inflation as falling greed.
Which would imply rising corporate generosity.
The reason this is a joke is because the big drop in inflation in the 80s would have to be caused by surges in corporate altruism. The altruism of Gordon Gekko and the 80s people.
Greed is good.
Yes, that Gordon Gekko.
Greed works.
So back to the original question. If corporate America is no greedier than ever, how come profits have soared?
What we're seeing in this moment is really when that profit maximization and opportunity collides. And the opportunity is the cover of inflation.
Aha. The opportunity caused by the pandemic. And when companies like Tyson blame higher costs, as their CEO has,
labor costs have been up 20%, cattle costs are up 22%, and freight is up 32%. We're not asking customers or the consumer ultimately to pay for our inefficiency. We're asking them to pay for inflation.
Woe is me. We have no choice but to raise our prices. Our labor costs are going up. Our inputs. But in reality, companies aren't being forced to raise prices because of inflation. They're raising prices because they can.
And why can they now, with so little resistance, I asked Rabowen.
Inflation sort of disguises these price increases. When prices for everything around you are rising, it's much easier for companies to raise their prices and not experience that consumer blowback.
The point is, when consumers come to expect inflation, the process can begin to feed on itself.
Companies know that consumers expect higher prices right now, and they're really seeing how far they can push that.
And says Robert Reich, Wall Street is egging them on, saying,
look, this is a great time to raise your profit margins. And of course, those Wall Streeters are saying the same thing to everybody else in the industry.
But in a competitive market economy, won't newcomers emerge offering lower prices?
No.
That's a lot less likely these days, say Rabowen and Reich.
75% of all American industries have become more concentrated in the last 2 decades.
Most are now dominated by a handful of corporations that coordinate prices and production. This is true of banks, broadband, pharmaceutical companies, airlines, meat packers.
You got 4 basic meat packing facilities, and you pay a hell of a lot more because there's only 4.
Now, it's not literally just 4, but 4 do dominate the market. And it's not just meat.
See what's happening with ocean carriers. During the pandemic, about half a dozen foreign-owned companies raised prices by as much as 1,000% and made record profits.
The traditional check on consolidation, of course, is antitrust enforcement. Reich worked at the Federal Trade Commission in the 1970s.
Antitrust used to be a real thing. But since the early 1980s, antitrust has taken a back seat. In fact, some would say it's been thrown out of the car altogether. And big companies now routinely have the power to raise prices. Customers will note that there is almost an exact price matching among all major so-called competitors because they're not really competing.
So what is to be done?
Tonight, I'm announcing a crackdown on those companies overcharging American businesses and consumers.
The fuck
A crackdown on the shipping industry by regulators.
If they identify that there is market manipulation or price gouging going on.
The president's national economic advisor, Brian Deese.
And the agencies have now committed to partnering, where the Department of Justice has significantly more enforcement resources and investigatory resources.
Ever, man.
And the
What
administration
was that
says it's
drawing?
working
That
to
was his
lessen
kid's drawing
concentration
in the
the food
background?
sector too.
You need scale to be competitive, and it takes capital to get to scale. So the USDA is actually right now working with smaller processors in rural areas across the country to try to give them grants, give them low-cost capital so that they can scale, they can get into the game more.
Bullshit.
As the meat industry points out, though, it's been concentrated for decades. Decades of low inflation, even in meat. In the end, this is any administration's challenge, to effect real change amidst economic forces bigger than any of us. Meanwhile, with company costs rising at about 10%, corporate profits are rising at 12.4%. That extra 2.5% or so seems to be at least part of the inflation we're all paying for now.
Y'all should be mad. You should be upset. This story should piss you off. Like, you should really be pissed off. The story should piss you off. But it doesn't. I know it doesn't. Nothing you can do about it, right? Cry about it. It says, this is the caption underneath the video. It says, despite rising inflation, major U.S. corporations are reporting record profits as companies pass rising supply chain costs on to consumers. Economics correspondent Paul Solman explores whether concentrated market power is contributing to inflation. It is inflation. Look, no comments on this. Comments are turned off. I wonder why. I bet you it was a bunch of angry. See, these people know. You should be really, this story should really piss you off. Whatever. I'm going to wrap it, y'all. I'm tired. I'll be back tomorrow. We're going to be talking about more mass psychosis. The title will be different, but that's pretty much going to be the theme. And we're still going to be talking about, the random stuff. I got a few real things, but overall, it's, the idea of people being, crazy. It's insane as world. And all of this, you don't have to look far to find evidence of it. Fucking insane. Anyways, y'all, peace and love. Thank you for joining. Thank you for listening. We'll be back tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel.